Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Shit Show. Welcome, Ruben.
Hello.
Welcome, Bruce. Thank
Hey,
you for
Janet.
joining
Hey,
me
Ruben.
tonight. I just want to let everybody know that Sandy isn't going to get to come tonight. She is not feeling good. I knew something was wrong because I'd been calling her for the last couple of hours
Oh no.
and she hadn't answered. So she said her allergies are really, really bad. So I'm like, I feel like that all the time. But thank you guys for coming. And how was your week so far, Ruben?
Tiring. Been on the road for a whole week. Literally.
Yeah, how's it? How was it going? I mean, I heard that you uh, that stopped at that one place and you got to work a little bit for them or something.
Yeah, basically, well, I thought it the way that it was being sold to me is that, hey, I want to eventually have a farm, do these things, so I want to learn more about how to do it. And they basically put me to work right away. Wait, hold on here. I got to check email and stuff, and there's no internet access there. When I can't stay here, I need internet. I got to work for work. So I basically and it was raining cats and dogs down there. It was crazy. So no power, no water. So, okay, I'm out of here. I need to get out of here. So I made the trek. A friend of mine from orchestra days back gave me a call and said, "Hey, come up here for a bit. You'll be okay. We'll figure things out, and then just look for what I can do." So I did. I drove 14 hours yesterday from Florida to Illinois. So I'm here temporarily, and then trying to figure.
Good. It sounds awesome. It sounds like you've had a little bit of an adventure so far.
Yes, but to hell and back almost.
Yeah, the hell and back. It sounds like it. Well, the thing is you're just starting. So are you ready for the rest of it?
Yes, bring it on.
So, Bruce, how has your week been?
I'm still employed. I'm still employed. My boss and I got into a pretty nasty argument on Monday, and that slid into Tuesday pretty bad. And then between Wednesday and today, uh, I think his meds changed. He's a nice guy, but he does have some personality. Uh, I, I guess you'd say features. We can't say our boss is got a glitch or something, but he's definitely a challenging individual to work with, and I still have a job, so I'm very thankful. I'll just
Well,
say
I'm
that.
happy. I'm glad you still have a job, and plus you got to remember too. It's at what 110 outside where you're at
Yeah, about 102 to 105 for the
because
highs.
it was 106 Monday when we went to Six Flags, and I was it was real exciting. The kids that we got to take, uh, when you come into Six Flags in Dallas or wherever it is near Dallas, it's got like a big open area and the stage and all this stuff, and then to the right is all these carnival like games, right? And
Mhm.
it's like, why in the hell they put it that way? Because the kids want to do that right off the bat. So we say, okay, so we pick one that we think no one will win, right? Because we don't want them to win anything. It's who wants to carry all the stuff? Okay. So they do you get three balls to throw in a little hoop, right? And these are some of these are kids are like 7. Okay. They're, so we don't think nothing, and then all the way up to adults or whatever. But each of them threw 3 balls, and one won 2 balls. Another one won a ball, and another one won a ball, and another one won a ball. So we had 2 people have to leave the park and go back to the van and put all the balls in there
Oh wow.
because we didn't want to carry them around the whole time.
Yeah,
It's like, that's
exactly.
stupid. But I did beg, and I didn't get it, but I wanted it. I begged all of them. I said, see that ginormous elephant hanging up there? It was big, as big as me. I said, I will pay for whoever wants to try this. It was something with ducks floating around.
Hmm.
And then there was another one that had these little pegs that looked like bottles, like the little ring that you get to throw it and get it on the
Yes.
top or whatever. And I kept saying, I'll pay up to this much money and let you guys play to win that for me. But everyone was so tired and sweaty and everything. By the end of the day, I was like, oh well, I didn't. I didn't get to get me a big old ginormous elephant. It was really cute too. I really wanted it because it didn't look like one that you can just go buy. I'm sure I can, but it probably cost me a lot more money than it would have to let some kid try to win it for me. But it was fun. Oh, hello everybody. Let's see who's in the chat real quick before I start gabbing. Because if I start gabbing, I'll forget about everybody. And that won't be good. Okay, let's see. The first one in here was Travis. Hello, Travis. Thank you for joining us, or me and Bruce and Ruben. We're thankful. And let's see. And then Bruce came in after Travis. And then it was, Papa Cotton. Hello, Papa Cotton. Thank you for stopping in, even if it's just for 5 minutes. I appreciate it. Oh, Boosh is in here. Hi, Boosh. I sent you a link. If you want to join, you can. Oh, he's here. He's here. Hold on. Let me add him. Hi. Hi, Boosh. I'm sorry. I'm not very good at paying good attention
That's
to.
okay. I've been backstage for 5 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I was telling Ruben and Bruce that I figured we could talk a little bit about the whole fake Russian coup or whatever, supposedly by this general that's been pissed off and didn't like Putin.
This is
so I don't think anything's going to come of it. But that was one of the
I don't know anything about this, but that does not sound out of character for Putin to put out there in the media to just, sow dissension in the ranks of his enemies, which would be us.
Yeah. Well,
it's a crazy thing that the people in the media have a long history. These have been news organizations for 50 years, 60, 70 years, and they still don't understand who Vladimir Putin is. Mm-hmm. And I'm a nobody.
I trust Putin more than I trust our government.
Well, me too.
I don't, because you have to understand his way of thinking. So I would trust our government to be dishonest.
Well, I'm worried.
I would trust them to be dishonest.
Well,
I would not trust Vladimir Putin to be dishonest if it were in his personal and economical benefit to be honest in certain situations. I've never heard our current president, Crayon Eater, be honest about anything in the past 30 years. I've seen him from 1992, 1993, 1994, so on and so forth. And then I was in D.C. when he was vice president under Obama. Mm-hmm. The man can't read.
I love the fact that he's got about 10 different incidents compiled on YouTube where he drops the racial epithets right there on camera.
Oh, God. He did it in Congress. Like, I swear to God, I think this guy, when he was put on any particular committee in the Senate or any intelligence committee, or when he was doing the Clarence Thomas hearings, I guarantee he went home and yelled, "I get to say such and such word on television today, and no one can stop me." He was probably so proud of himself that he's like, "I'm a white man, I get to say that word, and no one can stop me." Because that's who Joe Biden is, and he's let it slip on accident so many times, like Bruce is saying,
Well, can I say something about it?
Oh, absolutely.
This
is your show. Tell me to shut up.
I do a lot of spaces on Twitter. And if you haven't been on Twitter, then I'm sure you probably don't understand what spaces are. It's almost like in any app like that you can get on and you can do video chats, but it's no video, it's just voice. So you can have a group of people, up to 12 people, that talk about things, and you can bring more people up with mics and drop people down, and you can discuss things. Well, today I went into a Russian-Ukrainian room with a couple of my friends that have been involved with both sides talking and finding out what's going on every day, right? So I go in there after all this stuff starts coming up on Twitter about tanks and 25,000 troops, and this one guy I can't remember what his name is right this second. Used to be a general or whatever, that was kicked out of the military and stuff from Russia, and that he is planning a coup to get rid of Putin and all this different stuff. And immediately, it scared me, not because of that, them worrying about them doing something to us. What have I been saying to Bruce for a long time? We've talked about since this person's been our president. I don't trust him with the China balloon supposedly and a fake alien invasion that might happen. All these weird things that's been going on. I have told Bruce this before. I said, I really have a fear that our government is the one that blew up the pipeline, was part of it, or at least. Okay, I definitely believe that, to make everyone think that Russia did it to themselves to hurt people or whatever, because that's what they're doing. This is Russia, right? Trump in the PP dossier that was paid for by the Clinton campaign, blah, blah, blah. It's all proven that it was all fake, but people still believe that is true, and they still hate Russia. When all this shit going on with this president that we have and his son and all the payoffs to China and all this stuff, right? So I'm thinking to myself, what if they do some kind of big sonic pulse, take out half our power grid and say, oh, Russia did it. Now we have a reason to go to war with Russia. We haven't been able to go in there. People aren't wanting to pay these billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars and putting our great grandchildren in debt before they're even born for a war that we don't want. So why not drag us into it by making it seem like Russia attacked us? Because look, they blew up the pipeline. Russia blew up this pipeline, blah, 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 to hurt that country in Europe, blah, blah, blah. So now they're doing it to us. This is what they did, a sonic pulse. Took out our power grid. Now people are going to starve. People can't get anywhere. People can't go to work. We're going to have martial law. We're going to have to do all this stuff. That's what I'm afraid of. Something like that. It may not be a pulse. I'm just using it as an example, but I really am afraid that our government is going to do something worse than what we saw we went through already with the pandemic. So, okay, well, I'll be ready for my channel to be taken down tomorrow.
Get on Rumble. That's what I say.
I don't know what the rules are about what I'm allowed to talk about or what I'm not allowed to talk about. So, oh well. So it was nice knowing everyone.
You want to see there was a report last year about a train station attack in Ukraine. Supposedly a Russian missile hit. And it's painted on its side, and there's all these cars that are on fire, and then they show pictures of like toys that are laying on the ground, and they're covered with a little bit of rubble, and then they show some people laying down. And something really interesting struck me is that there's no blood. When a bomb goes off, there's at least a small amount of shrapnel just from the bomb itself. And if it hits, glass or concrete or wood, that becomes a projectile, right? And that projectile will go and hit people. And when people get hit with projectiles moving at 3,000 miles an hour, or 3,000 feet per second, like a rifle is what, 1,600 to 2,000 feet per second, a bullet? Typically, and the shrapnel is moving at that speed, and it's like a 2x4 or a car door. There should be dismemberment. There should be blood.
Yeah, I've seen a few really scary.
Well, this train. It says at least 52 dead in Ukraine train station attack by the Russian military, and it's on. This one's the CBS News. This one is CNN. This one's NBC. CNN is probably my favorite, and then there's one from BBC where they actually walk through the aftermath. People's luggage is still sitting straight up. I'm confused. And
that's all lies.
Yeah, I have questions. I'm like, okay, so there's a person laying here, and there's a person laying there, and there's a body laying over there. They
Mhm.
just fell over? Was it the concussion? And they just fell over? And how come the train station itself has a couple of broken windows and no damage to the facade on the front? There's cars
Yeah, where'd
burning
the
out in the
rubble
parking
come
lot.
from?
Yeah, there's cars burning out in the parking lot, and that's what they showed on the news. And then they show the impact of the missile, and it's a hole about 2 feet across.
Did
Like,
did you see this stuff too about supposedly Russia's the people that blew up that bridge too?
oh,
Or not the
I
bridge, the
saw
dam.
CNN.
The
I saw
dam.
CNN use video footage of the chemical plant explosion in Beirut to say that
Hmm.
that was Ukraine, and they got caught on that. And you can't find that on YouTube anymore. It's not there. They took it down.
Yeah, but the dam that was supposedly blown up and all the damage that it did and everything, they said that Russia did it, but Russia said they didn't. They said they think Ukraine did it.
Yep.
So it's like, and Ukraine won't let anybody but the Ukraine right people put anything on the news, the propaganda news.
Oh,
So,
here it is. I found a
they're
good one.
doing everything in their power to not let anything get out. I mean, during the Afghan war and stuff, there were reporters in all kinds of shrapnel gear and everything out all over the place. Talking on the news all the time. You saw so much stuff, and now we have nothing.
Right.
With absolutely nothing. You want me to bring that up?
Yeah, if you want. I'm going to leave it on mute because everything this person says is an abject lie, and
Yeah.
everything that the reporter on the scene says is an abject lie. I just like to watch the video itself, and
Mhm.
I'm going to put myself on mute, and we're going to watch through the scene. There's a lot of shaky handy cam. It's really hard to see what's going on. So if there's any
Uh-huh.
questions about what exactly we're looking at, I can rewind at any time that you want. I'm going to put myself on mute, and we're just going to watch the video itself and
Okay.
try to piece together exactly what happened.
Lies.
Communist News Network.
Clinton News Network. We're here at Trauma Films.
Graphic and so
And,
graphic.
and apparently this person's the only one with a cell phone to take video in 2023.
Right. So what I'm
Yeah,
seeing
I'm just
here.
saying it's sad.
So what I see here from the first, whatever, 10 seconds of that, 30 seconds of that. Well, we listened to him talk. Well, we didn't listen, but he talked for about 20 seconds, and then we saw this video. That video, to me, looks like a first-person view of people on the DC Metro trying to get on the train.
Mm-hmm.
I see no blood. I don't see any kind of horror.
Nobody's covered with debris either.
Right.
Remember, after
They're just moving
9/11,
around very quickly, and the
yeah,
handy cam is moving around. You know what you can do in any given situation? Stand still. If you're
mhm.
a reporter, you just stand there and you just film with your camera. You just hold it in your hand
Well,
and you
after
just show what's going on.
9/11, remember all the people were using it on their cell phones. I mean, you were bringing in all these videos from here, there, and everywhere from cell phones, people's phones,
And
and
was better
reporters.
quality than this.
And yeah, but everyone was covered with dust.
Yep.
And they had little pieces of stuff in their hair and on their clothes. Anyone that was in the vicinity, within so many blocks, had it on them, right?
Right, but this is
Well, this
video
guy
footage.
supposedly was right there, and he's videotaping people supposedly that were with their loved ones or trying to find their loved ones and stuff, right? That's what it looked like that he was trying to say.
No,
And
to
I
me it
don't
looked
see
like
any
people trying to
debris on
hustle.
anyone.
It
I
looked
see
like people in a
nothing.
rush. It could
Yeah.
be there's a sale at Walmart. It's Black Friday. That's what that looks like to me. I don't
Blue
see
light
any kind of
special.
terror attack that they're
Yeah,
talking
it's
about.
really sad. It's really sad that I don't know. I think that Putin, when he first came out and did that one speech, I wish we could play that because it was so good. I thought, and he talked about when he sent in those groups. Remember, they went to like six. They went right to these places, 6 locations basically, right to them when they could have just blasted everything if that's what they really wanted to do. And they said there were biolabs, and other people, friends of mine, said that know a lot of the Ukrainians and Russians, said they were trying to capture or save children too, children and other people that were in human trafficking
How you doing,
and
awesome?
some other things like that. So to me, it didn't make any sense that he was invading to kill everyone and take over the government, because he didn't go to the Capitol, take the guy out. He didn't, it just didn't look like a regular war. It looked like a strategic strike. Like if you and I's country was to go in and capture, we wanted to rescue someone, right? We would send in our troops into specific places to extract people or take items or whatever and then leave.
I
To
don't.
me, the whole thing that happened at the very beginning when Russia went in, supposedly, that's what it looked like to me.
I don't think that's what. I don't think that's what Putin is doing at all.
No, I'm
My
not
uncle.
saying that's what he was doing. I'm
I'm gonna
saying
repeat
that's what it
myself.
looked like to me. It looked
No,
like
no, that's what it's
strategic
supposed to.
spots to go into. Period.
Maybe what it's. So his whole role was dissemination of information and make people think what he wanted them to think. He's a master strategist.
So
This guy ran
what
the
do you think his
KGB.
whole idea is? If he wanted to take over Ukraine, why didn't he just go in and take the guy out and take it over?
So he could have, as you're saying, he could have done that. So why? Your next question is, why would he just invade and not wipe out Ukraine and just take it over? That's your question.
Mm-hmm.
Why not just
If
take it
that's
over?
what if that's
Because
what
he
his goal
wants to.
was, why didn't he
Because
do
he
it?
because he wants to destabilize the West, and he succeeded in that.
We were
So
already destabilized when
Well, I
our
don't think he wants.
when
no,
we
no,
got
no, no, no.
presidency
So
have.
when this country has given Ukraine $800 billion, it
Mm-hmm.
has affected the United States economy heavily.
Mm-hmm.
When we broke ties, that we basically Biden reneged on a lot of ties to other nations because of what Russia did.
Mm-hmm.
Putin knew that was going to happen. So Putin goes, if I invade Ukraine, I have this sweet deal with the United States that I give them 800 tons of fertilizer that they will use in their breadbasket of the world a week. And the United States has already paid me for this. And Biden's going to go, I'm going to renege on that. We're going to cancel that contract. And Biden's and Putin's going, I've got the money. And the United States does not have the fertilizer because Biden canceled the contract. And canceled the contract with McDonald's, Levi's Jeans, Samsung. So all of these things that were coming from Russia to other nations, specifically United States, when he started invading Ukraine, he was not trying to take over Ukraine. He was trying to do exactly what the Democrat administration did, which is funnel all of our money out of our nation into Ukraine. And there are Ukrainian politicians that were making less than $100,000 a year and now have $2.5 million chateaus in the Alps.
So you're saying, so what you're trying to say is you think Russia is working with our government right now?
Oh no. He knew
Stabilize
exactly.
the United States?
No.
By
See,
sending our
so
money
here's
to Ukraine?
they think Putin and Obama had a really good relationship. They didn't. Putin
No, I never
hated
thought
Obama. Putin and Trump had a really good relationship. No.
Yes.
Putin hated Trump. And now that Biden's in office, Putin hates Biden. You have to understand who this man is. It doesn't matter who's in office. Like you have pictures of
It's
Hillary
not
Clinton.
Russia. It's American NATO.
You have pictures of Hillary Clinton kissing Vladimir Putin on the cheek. You have pictures of George W. Bush shaking hands with him and hugging him. You have pictures of Bill Clinton shaking his hand and kissing his wife at that time. And you have pictures of Obama shaking his hand and signing trade deals. And you have pictures of Trump shaking his hand. Putin hates every American. You don't understand. The United States media
I disagree.
goes, oh, yes, it's Trump is in bed with Putin because Trump shook his hand and they made a trade deal for fertilizer. So they're in league together. I'm like,
But
well,
the thing is,
so
when Hillary made that deal with
Clinton
Uranium
and Bush,
One,
so Clinton and
with
Bush and Obama
Bush,
all made trade deals with the same guy.
or
And then
Bush,
Trump makes a trade deal with the same guy, and they go, "Ooh, Trump's clearly in bed with him." No,
Bush.
Putin hates America. You don't
Well,
understand.
he did a deal with Hillary for Uranium One. Why didn't her
Yes,
people hate her for that then?
for what was it, $50 million when it cost $50 billion? The Clinton Foundation brokered the deal for
I know
the State
that. So
Department under Hillary Clinton to
why
sell
were
our
they all
depleted uranium.
behind? Then why did all of them agree with Hillary doing it and dealing with Russia with Uranium One, but supposedly they hate Trump from him shaking
So,
hands with them? So
so
what is
to
it? How come nobody
to
said
answer,
anything about
I'm
Hillary?
going to answer that question with a question. Why would Putin say no? He has a sweetheart deal
Mm-hmm.
to get pretty much all of our depleted uranium. Why would he say no?
He wouldn't.
No,
But I'm talking
that
about.
doesn't make him a good guy. It doesn't mean he's
I
in
didn't
league
say
with the Clintons.
who's saying he's a good guy. Nobody is. I'm not saying I trust him. I'm saying I distrust our government more than I do Putin. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know.
That doesn't mean I love him.
Russia is being pushed to do certain things. That's all it is. It's not. It's
I
NATO.
will.
It's not Putin.
I will repeat
NATO.
what I said before, which is I will trust our government to be dishonest. I don't have that faith in Putin because he will be honest when it's in his favor, and he will be dishonest when it's in his favor. Joe Biden has not been honest about anything, whether it hurts him or helps him. Hillary Clinton is same thing.
It's all money laundering.
I believe there is maybe
care.
some aspect of that. We don't have proof of that, but we do have proof of the history of Vladimir Putin.
Ukraine, all the money.
And what he wants to
We have
do
50 years
is
of history
destabilize the West, and he
Biden.
has succeeded in that. Your question, Janet, was why does he want to take over Ukraine? He does not want to take over Ukraine. He did exactly what he would do because NATO
take him over.
moved in and gave.
That's not what I said. That is not
trillions of dollars at this point.
That isn't what I said, Boosh. I never said he wanted to take over. I said the way that everyone was talking about him on the news, that he was wanting to invade and take back Ukraine, basically.
You said why doesn't he just go in and take out the leader and wipe out Ukraine? That was your question.
That's what the news were saying. And I said, if that was true, why would he go into 6 different locations, like extraction points, like I was explaining, instead of just going in and going and taking over the whole place and getting rid of the guy? That's why. That's why I said.
And the answer to the question is because he's trying to destroy. It's Sun Tzu, Art of War. You don't invade in a land. What Risk as well? The board game Risk. Don't do a land war in Asia.
The issue is Ukraine. It's not Russia.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's so. You don't attack with military power like that. He could. He absolutely could.
Yeah, he could
I love the media talking the last year and a half about, he's played his hand and he's been shown to be weak. I'm like, you guys have no fucking idea. They have more tanks than we do.
There's been plenty of instances where the Russians have routed the Ukrainians. Yeah, the Russians lost a ship, but I don't think they gave a shit about it. And secondly, there's been a lot of situations where Russia has gone in somewhere, and like now we've got like a real problem because Putin keeps discovering these bioweapons labs, and there was like 30.
Oh, Chechnya is one of them. Yeah,
33 or 36 of them. And, we got people from Burisma and the big pharma trying to cover this up and don't say anything about it. Whatever you do, don't talk about it on the news.
And that's another reason why I'm worried about this whole thing about what our government's going to do, because Ukraine is one of the biggest child trafficking places in the world.
Oh, yes. Well, there's
like
also
I was talking about when Bruce and I did our first Rumble, when we were talking about that video, the eyes of the devil. Okay, it's
the whole
about
Eastern
the
European
brothels.
bloc is filled with slaves.
Well, the thing is that the whole list behind the Epstein, case,
Who nobody has been arrested for yet.
Yeah, not one person. Now, why is that? Now, it's just, to me, all of this stuff happening is just too obvious to people like us, people that want to call us conspiracy theorists or whatever. But the thing is, it's just so much pointing at the elite people that have the money to pay for young children like that,
So
whenever they want to get a phone
It's
call.
all about
hey, let's
money.
have a
That's all it
pizza
is.
party.
another thing about that is there are Russian oligarchs, and if they do something like behind Putin's back, go and do investments with the Biden family, Putin has them killed. Now, why
Good.
would that be in his self-interest?
No.
I don't know.
Because it helps the United States. Putin does not want to help the West at all. He wants the West to deteriorate. That has been one of his main goals since the 70s, since the USSR was still around. This man is probably the most dangerous man. Well, actually, no, since Biden wears diapers and can't talk, he's probably the most dangerous man on the planet.
This is what I was
Because he has the football. Biden has the football, and he can't talk, and he likes kids.
Yeah.
And he falls down all the time.
Giselle
So he's
Maxwell,
probably more dangerous than Putin at this point.
Giselle Maxwell was put in prison for 30 years for trafficking young girls to highfalutin men, right?
To no one.
To nobody, because nobody can find out. I mean, how was
Prince
a criminal
Andrew
act performed when
Prince
you don't
Andrew
have
is on
anybody
film
that paid the cash
on the island?
I mean,
why isn't Prince Andrew in handcuffs right now?
Well, I don't see him in handcuffs.
I'll be arrested and hung up.
He's got pictures. There's Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton sitting next to each other on Epstein Island. The one they showed on the news was a crop photo where it's just two of them sitting on a lounge chair with their feet aren't out in front of them, they're by their sides, and Bill's wearing one of those.
I want to read this. Papa Cotton, he says, you want to know who's on Maxwell's client list? Look at the names on your next ballot.
Actually, I think I still have it.
So, yeah, I know it's not just girls. Boys are taken too. That's what I was talking about. In the
Do you want the list? Do you want the list?
The Eyes of the Devil documentary. Okay, you can get it here on YouTube. It's all blurred out. You can't see anybody's face except for the man.
Oh, there's no faces. It's just a list of names.
But it's all about rich people that can afford to pay for a child that's 10 and under. Okay, just think about that. These kids, they keep them drugged up, but still where they can move and scream and whatever, they get the enjoyment for the people that pay for them. And they beg to be killed. They beg people to kill them. 6-year-old looking you in the face saying, please kill me. Please kill me. I don't want to live. I can't believe there's that many evil people in the world. And then other people would pay $500,000 to have sex with a newborn baby.
All right, so we need to get off of that.
Well, okay, I'm just saying that's what this is all about. I really do. I really believe that Ukraine is the reason they're just spending billions of dollars of yours and my money to cover up these people's crimes, because I know Putin.
You think it's Ukraine?
Shit.
Yeah, I think it's the American news media. So here's the thing that happened in Boston on the 19th.
Because they're not allowed to, because of the Smith-Month Act. They have to do what they're told by the government.
Ruben, did you hear about the 19th in Boston? Janet, did you hear about this?
No. I'm sorry. What?
No one?
What are we talking about?
So in Boston, on the 19th.
Oh yes, I heard about that. The gay guy that had a heart attack, and they called 911, and the ambulance got there and found all those children in the back room with sex toys and a whole bunch of drag queens and shit. And the guy, and a
Wasn't there a
dead
dead
guy
guy there
laying on
too?
the floor. Yes, I remember that.
There's a dead guy there too, I thought.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was dead.
so
He was the one they
so
called.
he
Why they called about it?
we don't know how he died, but there was a dead guy in the apartment. There were 6 transsexuals, drag queens, in an
And
apartment.
one was in the back room trying to hide the children.
One was in the back room. Well, actually, no, it's a little worse than that.
Well,
based on what was
trying to
released.
keep them from coming back in the back room to find the kids that they had.
Correct.
And it was
That's correct.
squalor. It
Hey,
was
Trina?
toys everywhere, but not toys for children, grown-up
Correct.
sex toys.
And
Yeah.
drugs. And
Yeah, and
empty
drugs.
alcohol bottles.
And
And
alcohol.
soiled clothes on the floor. And like pizza just laying on the floor, like
That's
pizza
another
crust on the
thing
floor.
that I
It was
talk
filthy.
about a lot, Boosh, is how do you rehabilitate children that have been through something like that? How are you supposed to ever let that child be a child again? The child will never be a child.
It is possible for them to recover.
I don't see how they can recover physically. Yeah, they
No,
probably
they
will never
can.
be able to have children.
There are some that are able to recover mentally from the trauma that they've been through.
I know people that went through that kind of abuse as teenagers that never recovered from it. So,
and I'm sure there are teenagers like Elizabeth Smart that recovered from it.
Completely cured from it. They're always going to have those horrible nightmares. And
well, yeah, but they can
go
go on to live a human life.
Well,
it's
yeah,
possible.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is there's no punishment on this planet, not even death, is enough to make someone pay for doing stuff like that to a small child.
You want me to make it worse, Janet? I'm going to make it worse based on what you just said, which I completely agree with. The Massachusetts governor, her name is Moira Henley or Healy.
Yeah.
Involved herself in this situation to stamp down any media covering this story. And she said, we're investigating. She got herself, she's a whole state to deal with. Specifically went to Boston with this situation where 6 men had 4 children, ages 5 to 10. These are babies, right? Like 5-year-old is a baby. And they have them locked in the back room. There's 6 grown men engaging in acts that are in an adult manner with these 4 children under age 10.
They're spreading monkeypox. They're sharing monkeypox with each other.
It's bad. And they tried to hide it from the police. That's a crime. There's a dead guy in the apartment. That's a crime. There's illegal drugs in the apartment. That's a crime. There's paraphernalia and soiled stuff in front of children. Those are both crimes. There have been no arrests.
There won't be either.
The mayor and the governor stepped in to prevent these people from being arrested. Their names have not been given to. Well, I'm not done. It gets worse.
I know, but what do you think is going to happen to those people that stepped in to stop the arrests?
It's going to get worse. There have been no charges brought against them. They have not been arrested. Their names have not been released. The apartment. This is the worst part. The apartment that they live in is paid for by the city of Boston. They do not pay rent. This apartment, this sex dungeon drug den that they had children in, was paid for by the city of Boston, the taxpayers, people that own businesses, people like Bruce, people like Janet, people like Ruben, people like me who pay taxes, paid for them to live like this and do this. That's the worst part of it. Well, actually, no, that's not the worst part of it. That's the second worst part. The worst part of it is the governor and the mayor, both Democrats, by the way, stepped in to prevent any kind of consequences for these people. That's the worst part. And they talk about, they go online, they go on TV, and they say, oh, it's just, we have it so hard. It's a genocide. It's just trans genocide. Like, you're allowed to fuck kids, drugs, and, do all this stuff in an apartment paid for by the state. You are the most privileged fucking person in the history of the United States. And you talk about trans rights.
Mhm.
Fuck them. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Years ago, when I first started noticing a lot of things, and it wasn't because of the news, and it wasn't because of newspapers. It was because I was watching, I think it was South Park. Yeah, I think it was South Park. And it was funny. The whole thing was funny, but they were talking about a group called Mambla on there. And I watched the show, and after it was done, I was like, is there really Mambla? Is that a real
It's NAMBLA.
NAMBLA.
Man Love Boy Association? Okay,
No,
I looked it up.
National Association of Man Boy Love.
Well,
I thought it was North
starts
America.
with a man M.
North American, whatever it is, they're fucking
Okay.
fucked
The
up.
thing is, I looked it up, and I was like, I couldn't believe it was real. And then I started looking at more and more and more South Park episodes, and it's amazing that because these guys do this show, they're opening people's eyes to a lot of things in a comedic way. They're able to get around the issue of not being able to show it. Because if you did a TV show about it, they probably wouldn't let you air it.
Well, no, they did it. They did it with Family Guy, and they did it with The Simpsons. They did it with The Simpsons, I think,
what I'm saying is, because it was a cartoon, they were able to put it out, and people like me.
No, that's not why they were allowed to put it out.
Well,
they were allowed to put it out because they donate heavily to the Democrat Party.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is, just because a person donates to whoever, a church that you don't agree with or something else, doesn't mean that they're all bad. Okay, because I don't believe every single Democrat is a pedophile and every one of them wants me dead, or they all want me to die or live in a gulag because I didn't get the vax. Okay, the same thing about Republicans. I don't feel the same way about them. I don't think every single Republican is not a child abuser, not an alcoholic or a drug addict. I think each person has to live with your own choices that you make.
Janet, I am an alcoholic, and I do drugs on occasion, maybe like once every 2 months.
Well, you know what I'm saying is that everyone can be who they are because that's who they are. You're born to be a certain person, and your environment affects how much of that person you were born to be is that person. Okay.
I think someone clip that right there. That was brilliant what she just said. The environment that you're in.
Because if I was born, wait a minute, I want to say something. About I was born and Sandy was born, and Sandy was taken out of her crib and taken somewhere else. And she was raised by a whole nother family that was in another country or whatever. She wouldn't be the same Sandy that she is to me.
Correct.
Because we wouldn't have been raised together, and she would have totally different points of view. Even though we are a lot alike, we're very different too in our personality.
If Ruben were raised in Mexico,
we were raised in the same house with the same parents, going to the same church, right?
Are you serious? Mexico's awesome.
Because we're supposed to be different, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But a child that's put into a home, a boy or a girl, and it's abused from day one, not held, not fed, not cuddled, not kissed, not loved, is going to be already detriment from what the child would have been if it had been held and cuddled and kissed. And that's not even talking about any other kind of stimuli or things that might be different in their life. Okay.
Well, there's another thing, which is it's constant in the lives of other people's children. The government, teachers are government employees unless they are at a private school. These teachers are government employees. And if they're in, let's say, Wisconsin, and Wisconsin says, you cannot talk to someone else's children about your genitals. Like, that's against state law. The people in the state voted representatives into office to say that that's not allowed. And a teacher goes, well, I'm going to do it anyway. No, that teacher is a state actor. They represent the state. They're violating their oath to be a teacher. They're violating their oath as a person that works for the government, which is what they are. The other thing about this, which is what a lot of people don't get, teachers are strangers. You see this teacher for, 5 hours a week? This kid does. The parents don't. Like, I can think of Mrs. Wilson was my English teacher, and the only reason my parents met her was because she told the faculty that I was excelling in English, and she she recommended me to go into AP English 2 for the next year. So the year that I was in her class, she was like very happy with the work that I was doing. I was not getting along with other students because they were a bunch of fucking assholes, because you understand that in middle school and high school, everyone's a fucking asshole. And my parents only met that one teacher.
Yeah.
As far as my parents are concerned, every other administrator or teacher or faculty member that I encountered in my life in public school was a stranger. And they're like, no. These teachers who have met this child and spent 5 hours a week with them know better than the parents, especially the mother, that bore them for 9 months. That's what they're saying, and that's just nuts. That's insane. It's completely crazy.
Well, it is to some degree, because if a teacher is trained in a special teacher for autism or other aspects of things like that for childhood.
Yeah, specialty teachers, that's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
So, or a teacher is, you don't know for sure about the teacher, because I've known teachers that were English teacher, that now a science teacher, that became a phys ed teacher. Okay. So they've had all the different trainings for these different things. So when they're in school and they're with a student, and a student's acting in a certain way, like this one student may walk funny. Well, why is it walking on its toes, not flat on their feet?
Let's make fun of them, nerd.
No, I'm not saying that. So it could be a sign of autism. It could be one of the things from autism on the spectrum.
Could be.
So what I'm trying to say is that some teachers that do give a crap about kids actually pay attention. Like, I'll use this as an example. One of my daughters was at school, in elementary school, and she was talking to one of her friends. I think it was at lunch, and one of her teachers overheard her. That teacher called me, and I don't normally get it, and I was worried something had happened. And she just said, I heard your daughter talking to so-and-so, and she said she's going to stay the night with her tonight. It was a Friday. And I said, well, I didn't know anything about it yet. She hasn't asked to stay the night. And, but if she asked, I would let her stay because that's her friend. And she said, well, I just want to let you know that her father, the other little girl's father's under investigation for child molestation.
That's a good look on the part of the teacher.
Wait a minute. I'll listen for a second. And she asked me, please don't tell anyone I told you, because I could lose my job. This teacher stuck out her neck to protect my child. Okay. So I won't throw all teachers under the bus just because one school's messed up or they have a bad administrator or whatever. You have to take each one of these things on an individual basis. But the number one thing that I think is the most important for all these schools and stuff is the parents. Okay?
I wasn't saying that all teachers are the same.
I'm not saying anything about that. But just brought this up to me is that I was thinking about it is because parents going, like you said, your teacher only met your teacher one time. That one teacher.
No, only one of my teachers in high school. Yes.
Only one of your teachers. Okay, but guess what? I went to every single parent-teacher conference. Okay, does that make me an overprotected mom? Does that make me?
Well, no, it actually
okay.
begs the question of why
No, what I'm trying
there
to
were
say
so many
is
parent-teacher
every
conferences.
parent has to do the best they can to stay as involved with their child as they can, whether it's Girl Scouts or a weekend thing where they're going to pick up trash with this group, or you know, jump rope for life, or whatever different little groups that you might have, or swim team. Your kid might be on swim team or soccer team, and a good parent does everything they can to try to spend as much time with their children as they can, right? But some parents don't have that option. When my dad was in the military, there'd be 6 to 9 months. I never saw my dad.
Especially single parents.
Okay.
Especially single parents.
And yeah, and in single parents. So what I'm saying is that's why it's good to have a good rapport with your teacher of your student, because the teacher should know we're divorced, or their dad is in the hospital, he's not well, or the different stuff that's going on, because it helps the teacher understand when a child's sitting there and not interacting, or if a child's outspoken, or having episodes where he's getting angry and stuff.
Right. No, that makes sense.
And that's what I tell people, you know, try to be one of those parents that sends a note to school saying this, that, and the other, or when you first go to the school the first time and you get to meet the teacher, to take a few minutes and explain them the situation.
But
give your child the best benefit.
So I have a bad short-term memory for lots of reasons, so I have to interject and just say what you're talking about is specific issues with the child.
No, I'm talking about teacher too.
Well, but this is
a teacher can do more for
reaching
your
student, reaching out to
the parents
you as a parent.
Are active with their child. That's all I'm saying. You're going to get a better outcome for all the students, the parents, and you're going to have
most kids would. Okay, so this kind of situation happened to me when I was in elementary school, where my mother had to get involved with the school.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it didn't really happen until, you know, Mrs. Wilson. But it would be a situation where there was something going on with the child that the teacher would notify the parents. It's all about the child, right? That makes sense to me. This is completely adverse to the situation that's going on now, which is it's all about the teacher. The teacher needs to say, like, this is what the child is. Wrong. And they do this without contacting the parents. They say, this child is such and such, or gay, or trans, or part of whatever such and such community.
Oh, I
understand. The teacher has made that decision without contacting the parents. That's the issue that I'm having.
And that's why
your situation is absolutely fine. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
That's why we're having more and more parents that are rebelling and going to these school council meetings and stuff like that. And you had the Antifa showed up at that one, and the parents and Antifa were getting in fist fights.
You mean 2 years ago when Merrick Garland, the Secretary of Education, called them all terrorists for questioning school boards?
This was just a couple weeks ago, because Bruce and I were talking about this one of our things. We randomly talk about everything all the time. But this has happened a few weeks back. I don't remember what state it was in, but the parents got in fist fights with Antifa in California recently.
Oakland. It was not white people. They called it white people.
It's sad that it's come to that, but parents have got to start fighting.
They're Armenians. They're not white.
And I think it's important. I think that should be our number one priority, because they're our future.
Yeah, here we go.
And I don't know.
I have it pulled up.
Oh, okay. So click on that same thing again.
Oh, no, not that one. This is where it's factcheck.org. I'm sorry, that was the wrong one.
I'm trying to do it.
So it's such a slog. I'm going through fact check. Is his Attorney General Merrick Garland never called concerned parents "quote unquote" terrorists. He absolutely did that in front of a camera. I saw it with my own eyes. Senate.gov Judiciary Republicans to Merrick Garland. You are not allowed to call concerned parents terrorists. Merrick Garland never called concerned parents terrorists. McCarthy's false claims that Merrick Garland called parents terrorists. It's just, God, it's one after another. I watched him do it live.
Well, there was
and now it's like memory hold.
There was a comment earlier. I'm trying to find it in the chat about
CNN.com fact check. Kevin McCarthy keeps repeating false claims that Merrick Garland called concerned parents terrorists. He did. He fucking did. I saw it happen. I'm sorry. I don't mean to yell.
You're lucky that you did get to see it. But I wanted to bring this up. It says, or your dad beating the crap out of you, of this kid, and there's nothing you can do about it as a teacher. Okay, now I understand this. That's what's so hard, especially when you have a teacher that's a good teacher that's trying to help the kid, right? I saw something like that happen. I was already in 11th grade in high school, and I had a girl that on my school bus that started paying more and more attention to me and wanting to sit by me. She was 2 grades lower than I was. Okay. Well, I took her under my wing and I started, just being nice to her and stuff. And she asked me to stay the night with her. Well, I remember going to her house and we go to bed. And or before we went to bed, we were having dinner, and her mother just sat at the table and didn't say anything. She just sat with her head down, and her brother was there, and then me and her were on the other side. And the dad looked at me and he said, "You see that trash can over there? That's the size tampons Lori uses." And he was talking about his daughter to me. This is what he said to me, and I just looked at him like, I didn't even respond to him. I just looked at him like, "What kind of psycho are you?" And that was it. I didn't even acknowledge him, basically, so I didn't know how to react to that. But then when we went to bed, I remember she was in the bed on that side of the room, and I was on in the other bed, and the door creaked open. This was like about midnight, I guess, and somebody was crawling in. At first, I thought it was her brother, and he was going to try to scare us. So I sat up in the bed, and I looked at him, and it was her dad. Okay, and he was crawling over to her bed. And I went, if you lay one hand on her, I'm going to tell your mother, I'm going to tell my mother and dad that you tried to do something to me. That's what I told him. And I said, so do you want me to do that? And he just looked at me and he left the room. Okay. After that, I told my mom about it. So I don't know what happened or what my mom did, but he wasn't living there. He ended up moving out. So I don't know what happened to him. And then years later, she told me that he died of throat cancer, which was great. So being brave enough to speak out, whether you're a kid or an adult or whatever, is what we have to have. We have to be brave enough to step up to the plate and do something, say something, show somebody something. But I was lucky because I had a mother that believed me when I told her what he said to me. I had a good relationship with my parent. And that's, and I'm lucky. And I say it all the time. I'm so thankful. I had such a good upbringing. I had a good parents. We didn't have a lot of money, but I had good parents that cared about me. And I got my butt beat many, many times for telling
my mom whooped my brother and I ass.
But I'm thankful for it. So, and
well, I mean, here's
you guys,
you're a girl.
All 4 of us are good
boys. Like Bruce and Ruben can probably understand what I'm talking about. My mom is like 5 feet tall, and when my brother and I were young, she whooped us and made an impact, and then we got taller than her.
Well,
and her popping us on the ass really didn't have any effect anymore. Because 1, we were bigger. 2, we were boys. Oh yeah, there it is.
We were taller than our mother. Well, Sandy wasn't. Sandy and Kathy were the shorter ones, but Dana and Jennifer.
I love my mother. My mother went to bat for me and my brother.
Taller than my mother. So
my brother went to a Catholic middle school, and this boy named Joey Daniello. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget his name. My brother, it was a high dive, and they signed up for the high dive, and some kids went over to the high dive and backed away, and went back down the ladder because they didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
My brother started walking up towards the edge of the platform, and Joey Daniello shoved him off, and my brother's right shoulder and right knee hit the side of the pool. He didn't hit the water. He hit the edge of the pool.
Oh,
and
that's awful.
My family wanted to press charges against Joey Daniello's family. That was a bad idea for reasons. Just take a guess what the reasons are. And the school said, we'll cover all of the medical. The school said, we'll cover all of the medical charges, rather than suing this other family whose last name is Daniello. And my brother was on crutches for a while and had this big, juicy red spot on the top of his head. And we're middle school. I wanted to kill the guy.
Well, everybody wants to get revenge when someone you love gets hurt by something.
But my mother went to bat for her kid, and said, I don't care whose family he's part of. I want justice. And Joey was kicked out, but there were no financial dealings with the family. Like, my dad was like, oh, let's take him to court. Let's take him to court. And then looked at the name and went, if the school's going to pay for it, I think we'd be okay. And Mom was just relentless. And that's what a mother is. She's like, no, that's my baby. Like, this kid tried to kill my baby. Same thing with me when I was in elementary school. They classified me as, apparently, I'm fucking retarded, according to the United States education system back in the 80s. So they put me in slow learning disability classes because I was in reading classes where I could read all of the words already. And I was an asshole. And someone next to me was reading the word wrong, and I'd say, no, it's pronounced like this. And the teacher would tell me to shut up. Mrs. Kraft, that was her name. Kindergarten. So they took me out of regular kindergarten and put me in slow learning disability classes because I was trying to tell another kid how to pronounce a word without the teacher say so. This amazing hero teacher. These teachers are heroes. They're amazing people.
I need to interrupt for just a moment.
Go ahead, Bruce, please. My mother went to bat for me at that point, too.
Ruben, I know things are kind of rough for you here. You need to get going. You're fatigued and such.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed.
Well, thank you for joining us, Ruben. I hope that you have a good night's rest tonight.
What happened?
Oh,
in private chat.
Press, man.
Okay.
Take care of yourself, my friend.
I'm going here. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye, buddy.
Bye, Ruben. I'm sorry, Bruce.
No, you're good. You're good. I just noticed that in a private chat. I'm like, fuck, Ruben's fading on us. I got to.
Yeah, he's had it rough. He's moved out and he's been on the road, and stopping in different places. So, I just want to make sure he gets some sleep tonight. But
so like your mother, my mother went to bat for me and my brother.
Yeah, and that's what any mother would do. That
two completely different situations. Well, not every mother.
Well, most moms.
A real mother.
Most real moms that love their babies, whether they gave birth to them or not, and grandmothers would do whatever they could, and dads too. I don't want to leave dads out because I think my dad would have done anything for any of us girls if he had to, been put in a position to do that. And I think that most parents would do anything that they could for their child. But I was reading in the chat that a lot of people are asking you questions about your work, Bruce. So do you want to talk to anybody answer anybody?
I can answer the question. So what Bruce does on stream is paint some stuff. When he's not on stream, he's crushing puss. That's his job.
God, I wish I was doing that as much.
Man, you ruined a perfectly good lie. Why would you do that?
Because I'm feeling very honest today for some odd reason, and I just, as much as I
Well,
think about it,
you don't have to make me honest. I'm glad you laughed at that because that was a hell of a good joke.
Well, I think that dragon you're working, is that a dragon you're working on?
This is a fire giant. This is something
okay.
Probably going to bump into tomorrow.
One of the fire elementals that we're going to fight tomorrow.
Yeah, one of the fire giants that popped in through a portal.
I thought it was an elemental. There's a difference?
There is. Elementals are mainly composed of the element which they're named after, and they have a malign intelligence typically to them. This is a fire giant. This is a fucking beast of rage that is going to make himself very acquainted with you guys. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game.
Yeah, so you better make sure you put a good word out there and tell everybody that half the team's probably going to die.
Probably.
We're probably going to die again. Well, I'm not gonna stick around if they're going to do something with another bag of holding. I think I'll hang back this time.
You guys are in the home of the dwarves of Kragoden. You guys are screwed. The fire giants have a drop on you. You better do something and solve this problem before there's too many casualties.
Yeah, we're probably gonna bite the big one. I have a little sword. I've used it a few times. So
I was playing an RPG when you guys were facing off against those beholders. Like, how could there be more than one beholder? Come on now, man. What are you doing? He's laughing now.
Master, he can do whatever he wants.
I understand that, but I've never played the game myself. We've been through this before, but I love the lore and I know what these creatures are. And that was mean, man. That was just mean. That was mean, man. It's like, well, this one's now turned to stone because no one attacked the tentacle that causes people to turn to stone, and this one shrinks people, and like the whole group is going,
yeah.
And it came up to Janet's turn. She's like, "Can I heal someone?" And Bruce is like, "Yeah, sure." When you rolled a 2, or you rolled a 2 or something.
It depends on where you are and how far away I am.
Yes.
Depending on my spells, I can't heal everyone, and if I could, I would, but I have.
Was it you, Bruce, that was saying like, "I don't want a goddamn cat in my face," or was that someone else in your house?
No. There was my friend Chris plays a big tiger. He has a druid that shapeshift into a tiger. 90% of the time, he's a giant fucking tiger.
Yeah, and big tiger.
The beholder saw that and realized his capacity, and there's one less beholder in the fortress already because of this damn cat, because it gets a hold of him and claw bite rake, and that's just what it does every round. Just repeat what I just said: claw bite rake. All 4 claws, latches on, bites, and then the back 2 claws try to rip out like innards. And the beholder's like, "Fuck you!" Fuck kitty, and gave it 10 eye stalks, and that each one.
I thought it was 8. Oh, it's your dungeon. Maybe it's 10.
No, they have 10. Typically by book they have 10, and they're not even in the version of the game that we're playing. I just bastardized them into the game because there's conversion kits all over the place on the web,
Yeah, I understand. Do you read the chat? As soon as I mention two beholders being in the same area is not right. And other people in the chat were like, yeah, they're crazy, like crazy territorial, and like they're completely insane. Like they would kill each other before they attacked any kind of, adventurers coming in there. You didn't read the chat, did you?
I was reading the chat, and I acknowledge the fact that you guys are mostly right. That's mostly the lore from the monster manuals. But I was using a third edition. I was using a third edition module as the basis for that adventure.
He's only mostly dead.
The Deep Horizon adventure, there's 5 beholders in this one area that they've conquered a entire race of the larger bat people. And the bats are very strong, but they don't have the best saving throws, so those 10 eye stalks get to be very, very painful for the bat. So they are conquered by the beholders. The beholders were using them as their muscle. It was great.
Oh, hey, Crafting Gamer and
Crafting
Craig
Gamer.
Pierce. Hello, welcome to the chat. Yeah, man, like I was going back and forth with people, and I was like I said, playing an RPG myself.
What game
when that was going on.
What game were you playing?
ESO.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you played ESO. That looks like a fun game.
There's a lot to do.
I don't have all the time in the world to play. Otherwise, I'd add it to my weekly wrecking.
Well, you have this other thing going on. If you didn't have that other thing going on.
I want to ask a question about that, Bruce. I've been wanting to ask this for a while. Isn't there a place where people could go and play games like this every day? I mean, like a place you'd rent or whatever that would have all the things you'd want or need to be able to have a group of people come and play Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder or whatever it is that you decide to play.
A lot of people I know will use their friendly local game store if they have one, and they use that for their meetups and for their game time. A lot of stores I know do have limited space, but they rent tables to people for like a 4 or 5 hour stint, which is nice. If you're like me and
what do they normally have in these places? Is it a comic book shop?
It's usually a comic book shop with a few tables.
I wish I could afford to buy something like that. I would enjoy running a business like that where I could let people play the kind of game that we're playing.
I would recommend you retire rich first. That way you could enjoy it, and even if you have a loss,
if I ever win the lottery, I'm going to open one somewhere where enough people could come and use it, where maybe young people will start wanting to play games like this instead of playing online all the time. Use your imagination. I think your imagination is way better than anything you can see on a game, Xbox or whatever. I would like to see more kids do it. That's why I was so excited when I first started watching Stranger Things and the kids were playing it I just thought it was refreshing to see actual kids being kids and using their imagination instead of everything being set up for them. Even though I have to admit, I have played a few times with another person and played like a Halo campaign. Side by side, fighting aliens and stuff, and it's fun.
Yes.
But it's totally different. It's a totally different thing though when you're using your imagination. I think it's exciting. I really like it because you don't know what can happen. You know what I mean? If somebody in your team makes a different decision than what you want, and they all agree to do something different, it goes in a totally different direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're on the radio. That's what you guys did.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I like this kind of game where you have a team and you talk about what the situation is and what's the best decision for you guys to make. And then you each put in your information and you make a decision that way instead of just having a a game that's already set up, and you either go down this tunnel or that one. You got 2 choices. This has a multiple choice selection almost every time we sit and talk about what we're going to do. So that's what makes it fun too.
I agree.
I enjoy it. Oh, that's right. E.T. I was reading what Chuck wrote in E.T. that kids were playing a fantasy game too. I know. It seems like there's just not that much. Maybe it's because when I'm online, I just don't see it. But I just wish there was more places for kids to be kids instead of. That's one thing I thought was so bad about the whole COVID thing, when they wouldn't even let a kid go outside and go to the park. They were closing parks and skating parks and stuff up.
One of the things that happened when Tom Brady moved to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was he moved into Derek Jeter's house, which was God, what was the name of the island? Like this, a fucking mansion. Like his bathroom was the size of the place that I currently live in. You know, like that's how crazy huge.
Hey,
this
that's
place
just
is.
a waste.
But it's also hit a full gym, like a gym that you like, Gold's gym that you would go to, and you pay an exorbitant amount of money a month to just be part of that gym, to go and use their equipment, maybe once a week or whatever.
Yeah.
Was available at Derek Jeter's house. It was just, and there was a track that goes around the whole gym so he could run. And because he's Tom fucking Brady, he went into Tampa and tried to go to a public park that had this not a rope, it's a, what do you call it, police tape around it. And he just picked up the police tape and ducked under and started running around the park and using the monkey bars. And a TPD came over, Tampon came over there and said, "You're not allowed to be here." And he's like, "I'm Tom Brady." And the cop's like, "I don't care. I don't care. Look, there's a police tape around this area. You're not allowed to use this area." And he goes, "But I'm Tom Brady." And the cop's like, I have a taser. I don't want to be on the 6 o'clock news. Please leave. And apparently this was like a big to-do. It was like, oh, evil Tampa Police Department prevents Tom Brady from exercising. No, they didn't prevent him from exercising. He has a mansion with a gym the size of Gold Gym inside of it. He can exercise. He's covered. And I was on the side of the Tampa Police, because at that point, it was like right at the start of COVID.
To the park being closed.
Well, it was right. So. It was COVID. It was right at the start of COVID. Tampa, or actually Florida, was one of the first states to start closing stuff down. And then, it turned out that there were a lot of, I don't know how to say this so we don't get you nuked. There was availability that was not afforded to people that were ill. And then people in states that were not crazy went, you know what? Let's give these people medication that may save their lives. And in 5 states, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and California all went, nope, you're not allowed to do that. We have to have a magic thing that doesn't exist, quote unquote, doesn't exist yet. You're not allowed to have any medication other than this thing that doesn't exist yet. That's called murder.
One of the things that I thought was so stupid about the whole thing.
I'm sorry, get away off topic.
The fact that
we're so far
the whole
off
thing
topic.
with the meds, the certain medicine that you could take, and when Trump started talking about it, because he was treated with it, I can't remember what ivermectin.
Yeah. No, he had hydroxychloroquine.
Hydroxychloroquine. That's it. And when he started talking about what they used on him, and that you should just talk to your doctor about getting that, and then Fauci and all them were saying, no,
you have to have the vaccine.
Yeah,
you don't have a vaccine. Guess what? They had a vaccine. They had a vaccine in summer 2019.
horse tranquilizers and stuff. I'm like, what?
No, it was
Ivermectin. That isn't what I didn't
That's
hear that at
ivermectin. That's
all.
different.
I didn't.
So,
I said it's just ridiculous. And plus, people I know that have lupus are already taking certain meds,
right.
and those same meds are what they were treating some people for COVID with. And I was like,
what happened was there's a drug called ivermectin, which
yeah,
does wonders for symptoms like what the horrible thing that killed most of the population does. That's what ivermectin does. It prevents all of that nonsense. And
he's
they
making
went
fun
and
of
said,
my hair. He
said
said something about my hair because I got it pulled up in a thing, and somebody said Janet has a taser and she does her hair with it.
Yeah, I would put a taser to your head.
I would just say, just take my finger and stick it in a light socket. They probably do.
I mean, whatever you're into, baby. Anyway, so
I don't know what I'm into. I haven't tried that yet.
Moving on from that horrible, filthy comment that I just made. So this drug has been around for decades, like since the 60s, and it has been repeatedly proven to do exactly what it's supposed to do.
But people have been taking it for a very long time for other diseases, and they come out and said that because Trump suggested that you should take it because they
no, that's a different one. That's a different one.
What I'm saying is they were saying and making fun of people, saying that that's what they give animals and stuff, and it's like
ivermectin is also used as a horse dewormer when they have whatever compunction it is to ingest.
Well, it cures COVID and gets rid of the worms. So why did they just say
so what's the problem here? So then it happened, and Joe Rogan was doing very poorly, and he said, "Yeah, I got like this horrible flu symptoms," and he did a TikTok video with himself, like on his phone, and said, "Oh, it's like, it sucks real bad. I'm having a little bit of trouble breathing, but I'm in pretty good shape, so I'm going to be fine." And I started taking ivermectin.
Did you get it? Did you have COVID?
Me?
Yeah.
3 times.
You did have it?
Supposedly.
Bruce, did you ever get COVID? Supposed to be diagnosed
for about a month with it.
Really? I never got it. One time.
Maybe they should have given you some horse dewormer, Bruce, and you would have been out of the hospital in less than a month.
I asked for that.
They denied you?
They denied it.
What state do you live in?
I live in Texas, in San Antonio. I was at the fucking Audie Murphy.
How the fuck did Texas say no?
Is that when you were telling me about you being in hospital and being so sick, and that was what it's from?
Yeah, that was
the flu.
August 21.
So I actually have the numbers. Hey, Tolbot, how you doing, man? Or Tolbat.
Marijuana prevents COVID. Well,
actually, no. There's actually some science to that. Actual science to that, not the science, because I'm Dr. Fauci.
I'm Dr. Fauci.
Not the science, like actual science that proves
any of that stuff. I don't.
So
smoke
if you inhale smoke into your lungs, it actually starts to deteriorate the COVID virus that's supposed to affect specifically your lungs. So Tolbat is not actually wrong. Smoking marijuana in that way, where it's actually smoke, like vaping. Vaping, I'm not so sure about. I'm not the science. I'm just the science. So there were several drugs. Just the 3 big ones were, I think, Refesnor. I might have that one wrong. Ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine.
Regeneron was the one I was familiar with.
Regeneron. Yeah, so Regeneron has a lot of problems.
Yes.
If you are not having specifically this life-threatening thing, Regeneron's going to hurt you. The flu, based on your physiology and age and health and diet and things like that, Regeneron can kill you. And that was one of the ones. The other thing they had was the clonal antibodies that after Trump was kicked out of office, the federal government refused to send clonal antibodies to states like Texas and Tennessee and Kentucky and Montana and Florida. It's like, how come that's happening? But they're going to California and they're going to New York. It's like, why is New York getting these clonal antibodies, but Texas isn't? Like, because it's a bunch of anti-vaxxers. But this isn't the vaccine, it's clonal antibodies.
Well, maybe they thought because it was Texas and it's filled with cowboys and they'd have horses everywhere, they'd have plenty of horse medicine.
And we got a bunch of big dicks and they don't want to have that.
I don't know. I'm just being smart.
Wow, I made you blush. Jeez, your face got red, didn't
it? I blushed.
Oh, look at that sigh. Oh my God. I blushed at that.
The banner on the New York Post.
It got a little red, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you look really good.
Well, we never did read this whole thing from Merrick Garland.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's
yeah, sure. Story.
And it had something else besides the terrorist thing. There was something else that went with it. I was trying to remember.
Yes, he called parents that were trying to prevent teachers' unions or school boards from kicking them out of what was being taught to their children. Mm-hmm. Merrick Garland called them domestic terrorists. Mm-hmm. This is actually true.
Yeah, we were all called deplorables too. Remember?
Yeah, because that stupid fucking cunt.
Now you live in Macedonia or something like that.
Yeah, I live in the free state of Texas. AG Merrick Garland, White House, owe America's quote-unquote domestic terrorist parents an apology and an explanation. National School Board Association has now apologized for that letter labeling parents domestic terrorists subject to the Patriot Act if they speak up about their kids' education. When will the White House apologize for the requesting that? Am I missing something here that doesn't read right? When will the White House apologize for the requesting the? That's not reading right, is it? Am I crazy?
I don't know. I can't really see it, but I'm trying to read the other chat real quick. That's what I'm trying to get caught up on.
The National School Board Association has now apologized for that letter labeling parents domestic terrorists, subject to the Patriot. Yeah, there's something going on here. This is like edited incorrectly.
I'm not surprised. I mean, it was edited by people that went to public school.
I mean, it's a New York Post, so
but it didn't used to read like this.
Surprised of any of it.
And Attorney Merrick Garland for responding to directing the FBI to get involved. That was a big thing too. I forgot about that. Mm-hmm. So parents went to school boards, and National School Board Association, which has billions and billions of dollars. No one understands. Well, not no one, but a lot of people don't understand that the National Teachers Union has tons and tons of money, and they get funneled more and more money every year. And our grades for our children go down. It's like, why would you give more money to people that are doing a worse job? And I've talked to my cousin Patrick.
Why does Illinois keep voting in Democrats? That's what I want to know. I mean, I used to live
there
30 years.
They don't. The people do not vote in Chicago, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
Like, I swear, like, why would you?
Then why would they live
a football team, and it's 1 to 26. You've got 1 year where you did something all right. 26 years of failure. That people should be begging the college to get rid of you. You can't do the football team right, but they keep hiring you for the job, and that's the problem that I have with Illinois.
No, they don't. They're not. There's not the people hiring for the job. There's like aldermans, and there's a whole union over there. If you walk up with a red MAGA hat anywhere in Chicago, you're going to get beat up. So 99% of the Chicago City Council is Democrat. The chief of police is a Democrat. The chief of the internal investigations is a Democrat.
Can I interrupt for a minute?
Sure.
Okay. I have seen a couple.
Can I interrupt you for a minute? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I had seen a couple videos, and I think it was in Chicago, or maybe it might have been California or New York. It was in one of those few places, and it was a bunch of black people beating up white people.
Oh my God!
No, wait a minute. They were yelling, "Get the white guy," or something like that. So,
yeah.
What's going to happen if we let this government that we have right now, it's in charge, get people riled up, and it starts a huge race war where people are going to be killing people simply because of the color of their skin?
That's already happening, sweetie.
No, I mean everywhere in every town. I'm not talking about a random one here, a random one there. I mean, in Chicago, they're killing each other. I mean, you don't even have to have. They don't care about color.
No, the Democrats are killing black people in droves. It's ridiculous. So like 90, the number one killer of black children is abortion.
I know, but what I mean
35%
is when you're shopping at the store, you just go into the store and you're trying to carry your stuff out to the car, and you're attacked and assaulted simply because you're skin color and you're putting your stuff in your car.
You leave. No, because in Chicago you have no recourse.
Yeah, you don't.
If you're a white person in Chicago and you're walking your groceries out to your car, and a bunch of people go, "Get that white motherfucker," and beat the shit out of you, you're done. There's nothing you can do. You can't go, "Hey, that was a hate crime. They specifically attacked me because I'm white." Like, how do you know that? Because they said, "Get that white motherfucker."
Yeah.
And they go, "Well, that's just conjecture." And they throw it out of court. That's Chicago.
It's just sad because, like, every city that these people are in charge of is filled with so many homeless people, drug addicts, alcoholics, and crime-ridden. I mean, it's just terrible. And all they ever say year after year is, "If we just had more money. If we just had more money."
Oh yeah, that's it.
If we just had more money. It's like a broken record, and they still keep getting elected.
And they keep giving them more money.
I know, but how many people have to move away or close businesses, and the businesses go away, and then all they say is they left because we're black and they don't want to be in our community, and that's not true. They don't want to be there because they don't want to be killed. They don't want to lose their loved ones and stuff like that. And it's not just black people that are leaving. Or white people that are leaving. Black people are leaving too, and Hispanics, because they want a safe place to raise their children.
So
and I don't understand why that's so hard for people
here's a crazy one. Since the bill is at 352, I think it is, that was passed.
Hi, Jerry.
Oh, Wiggy Wiggy Woo! I haven't seen Wiggy Wiggy Woo in forever.
And Jerry's here. Hi, Jerry. But I don't understand it.
California is averaging 352 companies a month leaving California. 65,273 businesses have vacated California.
Yeah, I saw.
That's insane. That's insane.
I think it was last week or the week before we were talking about. Crazy.
That's almost 70,000 businesses have been built in California and went.
Paris Hilton's dad owns, the Hilton Corporation or whatever, and there was another one. I can't remember the name of it right this second.
Yeah, Hilton left.
Yeah, and they
left.
just
Joe Rogan left. Daily Wire left.
Making payments on their properties in San Francisco because they said it's not worth it anymore. It's not.
One of them did something brilliant. They didn't want to lose their real estate property, but they were being taxed as that being their private residence.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was San Francisco. I'm not sure. So what they did was, and this is brilliant, according to state law, they have to have certain amenities inside the building to be considered a residence.
Mm-hmm.
So they pulled out all of the toilets.
Oh, well, if they
it's
help
not
things around
it's
it,
not
and
considered
get
a
paid
residence
for it,
anymore, so the state can't tax them on that. Like,
well, that's good.
that's great.
Smart.
I was like,
That's why you have
what
all
do you
those
what do? You
lawyers
go
looking
you
for
go
stuff.
downstairs and you poop in the gym. Like,
Just take a bucket with
it's
you
just
or a
great.
plastic bag.
Well,
Right?
no, it's an extremely expensive building that this condo is in, but
Oh.
they're taxed on it because it's a domicile. So if they remove certain amenities, it's no longer a domicile. They don't have to pay the state tax for it being a domicile. And there's like a a gym in the building. Like when I lived in D.C., I was in a condo with my uncle. It was about
I just want to show you something at the bottom. Look at that.
1,200 square foot.
Tollbat
But wait a
this.
minute.
It says the left and the right should be able to agree on living in a safe city or town.
Should.
Okay.
Good. I
And
shouldn't have to.
that makes
Oh, that's
perfect
what he said. Yeah, he said it there too. He said should.
Yeah. So the thing is that whether you're, no matter who you are, when you have a family and you have a child in this family and you have a child in this family, and this family has lots of money and they're able to move into this neighborhood that has a gated community or whatever, right? And then you have this child that's living in just the normal track houses or whatever, right? And bad stuff's happening around this child, but this child never has to see it because of where they live. See, that's sad, because if these parents could just stand out here and look across the street and see what's happening to that child, they would feel sorry for that child and want to help it.
No,
And
not in California.
yes,
So
they
what
would.
they do in
But the
no,
thing
what
is, you
they
have
do in California is go, okay, that's not
okay,
happening
that
in
tells
my neighborhood. That's
you
happening over there.
you
So
don't deserve a fenced yard for your child. You don't deserve a safe place for your kid to play every day after school. You don't deserve any of those things, but I do. And I deserve a freezer full of ice cream that I don't have to share with anyone.
correct.
Okay.
And
That's
her
what I don't
and her
understand.
freezer
But
and
they
her
keep
freezer
putting that
costs
woman
more
back into
than the
office
average
over and
car
over
in her
again. And
district.
now someone else. Now you got OC or whatever her name is. What's her name?
AOC.
And I see guys on Twitter constantly talking about her. Yeah, she's really stupid, but I'd jump her. I'd do her.
I would too.
Hang her.
In a heartbeat. Like, she's dumb as a box of rocks.
But
As
the
long
thing
as
is, I
she
see
doesn't start talking about
I
politics,
see
she'd be like,
guys saying
I'll
stuff.
be
They
like,
have a picture
AOC,
of her, of a
AOC,
woman.
how do you make a screwdriver? Do you use
They
triple
say
sec or
stuff
do
to
you
this
use
about this woman
Cointreau?
and say how attractive she is, and but how stupid she is. Listen how stupid she sounds. Blah blah blah, and what her political viewpoints are, right? And they're trashing her and saying she's nothing but a piece of trash. So I commented underneath and said, but half of the guys on Twitter would bang her. So what does that say?
More than
Who's
half.
the trash?
More than half.
Okay, so
Yeah.
really think about it. Who's
So
really
Janet,
the trash?
I
If
am
you don't
thinking about
sleep
it.
with her, but you say women shouldn't vote. Okay, someone will say women shouldn't have the right to vote because they're too stupid to understand politics. But you'll jump that woman's bones, even though she's saying stupid as shit. What does that say about me?
Can I say something real quick?
Wait a minute. What does that say about someone like me that actually tries to understand what she's going to vote on and tries to always make the best decision? And it's not nothing. I don't want to go take my bra and burn it, because I don't think that I should get paid as much as someone else if I can't do the job. I believe in equal pay if you can do the job. And I can chop some wood. I can do a few things, but I can't go out. I'm not a lumberjack. I can't chop trees with a giant chainsaw. I can't dig ditches all day. I mean, I'm just not physically fit to do those things. But if I can be a paramedic and I can go help pick up a 300-pound man and put him on a gurney and take him to the hospital, blah, 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 then I should make the same money as this guy if I went to the same school. You see what I mean? I agree with that. But
so let's go back to what we were saying about
guys will point the finger at me and tell me I'm stupid and I'm too dumb. Because I'm a woman, because I have a vajayjay, I shouldn't have the right to vote because that dumb bimbo over there is stupid enough to do stupid shit. I'm not that woman. I'm different. and I should be treated differently than that woman. But that guy treats all of us the same, because if he says she's dumber than a box of rocks, but I'll jump her bones, what does that say about me? That's what I'm trying to understand. I would, if I meet two guys and they're very attractive or whatever, and they want to go out with me, but this guy says, you should be wearing 2 masks and you should have got the COVID shot and blah, blah, blah. And this guy says, fuck them. Then guess who I'm going to go out with? It ain't going to be the guy that tells me I need to wear 2 masks. You see what I mean? I pick people by the way they treat me, how they talk to me, and what choices they make for themselves. I'm not going to jump his bone just because he's good looking. See, why does that make me? What's different about the way I look at things than what most guys would look at that woman and say, I'll jump her? I mean, why is it? I just don't understand that. So one of you guys explain that to me, and why that's normal, or why.
So a lot of men are very stupid.
A lot of men are dumb, and they follow their penis. Their penis gets them in trouble.
Right. Yeah. So what we both basically said this. I said stupid. He said dumb.
Too, but it doesn't make me.
So Janet, the thing is, like, and I know Bruce is not available to say such, but I would much rather be with you 100% than that stupid fucking bitch.
But you earlier said that you would jump her bones, but I don't understand that concept.
I prefer you. What the hell are you talking about? You just said, like, why would they do that?
No,
why would they do that?
What I'm
if
trying
there
to say
were an
is,
option, you.
Okay.
But he's not giving that option.
I still don't understand, so but that's okay.
He's stuck with lowly AOC and her microwave vagina, which would destroy any child he puts in her, over a happy life with Miss Janet.
Okay, so
this is another thing I want to say about that. When somebody jumps the bones of that dum-dum, okay, that admitted walks around going, whatever, right? You run the risk of bringing a child in the world.
Oh, no, we leave.
Okay.
No, condoms are not as expensive as people think they are.
That made this baby that nobody wanted. And now the child is being tossed back and forth between two people that didn't want to be together. See, it's a whole nother huge, terrible, bad thing that happens because of all these people running around, not thinking about, what tomorrow might bring if you do this today.
You're adding more criteria, so we're going to have to answer that new criteria.
I don't know. Maybe I was just born too late. I should have been born 100 years ago.
Okay, so based on the new criteria that you've added,
I can't hear you. I turn my volume up.
Sorry. You can't hear me?
Now I can. I had to turn my mic back up.
So, based on the new criteria that you've added, still you.
Okay, that I appreciate that.
Easily.
But I'm trying.
AOC is a fucking child.
Guys.
I don't care if she's 36 years old. She's a fucking child. She doesn't understand anything. She has no idea what she's talking about. Yeah, she's pretty, but that's all she is. So to go to your first point, like why would men do that? Right? Why do that? Because she's pretty. She's got perky tits, big perky tits, and she's got a big fluffy ass. That's it. No one's looking at her going like, yeah, I'm gonna date that, and then she starts talking, and they go, I can
go from one YouTube channel to another, or to one Twitter profile after another, and I can see dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of hot, good-looking women or guys. So
we have the internet at our fingertips, like
you know what I mean? There's a million.
Told that you're wrong. She is very, very pretty until she starts talking. Then it's like, God.
I'm going to speak honestly. I've never fapped off to AOC.
I've never fapped to her either. What are we talking about? That's not the same thing as finding her attractive. Jesus Christ. I've never been like, I got AOC on my phone. No. What the hell are you talking about?
There's thousands that.
Plus, you can make you whatever drink you want.
Those thousands of men, whatever mythical men that Bruce is talking about, are fucking losers if they find AOC like, hey, she's walking up the steps of Congress in a tight dress. No, those men are fucking worthless.
Those
I
same
don't know. I
guys that
don't
are
know what he
fapping off
looks
to
like because I haven't
AOC.
really looked at any of that stuff.
I'm pretty certain the same guys that fap off to AOC are the same guys that have pink hair and skinny jeans, and they don't do things like, I don't know, get on top during missionary. No, they're usually on bottom biting a pillow. I'm pretty certain that that she attracts a very low testosterone crowd.
All right, I think we're conflating physical attraction. She has a nice body. Anyone who says she does not have a nice body,
maybe that's my problem. Is I'm not really looking because she's a girl. So you know what I mean. Maybe
you're not looking to hook up with AOC.
I'm not looking at her at the same way you guys are looking at her. So maybe that might be part of the problem.
No, I am actually disregarding a lot of the things people in chat are saying, which is she's nasty. No, she has a very, very good body, and she's sort of pretty in the face, but she is fucking awful. She's a horrible human being. She is stupid. I can't, like, if I were 22 years old and AOC walked into the bar and started spewing her leftist nonsense, I'd be like, yeah, fuck, yep, let's go fuck.
Probably not.
After 30 years old, I'm like,
if you were raised,
you're fucking stupid. You're a fucking child. I have no interest. I have no interest in whatever is going on with whatever that is. Like, that's a pretty decent butt. That up there, like that up there, that looks pretty nice. That down there, that looks pretty nice. No, fuck you. You're fucking stupid. You're a fucking child. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to fuck you.
Because nowadays you can even order a doll online that has all that stuff.
Or you. You're much better company than that scathing cunt.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've never been able to sit in a room with her and have a discussion. So
no one can. No one can sit in a room with her and have a discussion.
Into an office. So
no, she wasn't elected. She was never elected. She was appointed. You didn't know that?
Mm-mm.
She was appointed. She was put into office.
She
was put into office.
That's all they do nowadays. These new Democrats are just installed like malware. They find one that says the thing.
Oh no, you guys aren't allowed to see me smoke.
I'm trying to keep up with the chat. I don't know. I wish I had a brother just so I could understand a lot of the things that guys have to go through.
I have a question. How the fuck is Bruce typing and painting at the same fucking time?
He's a genius.
I've got this right over here, and
he's got a phone.
Oh, we also can't see what his dick is doing.
Thank God.
He's got that phone between his thighs, and he's just bouncing around typing to us in the chat.
That's reserved for later when the wife gets home.
Oh yeah, Winky Wanky. That was like her.
Hey, Winky.
Yeah, and where Winky Wanky's from, I think that kind of language, that word is used a lot over there, but it's a little different meaning than ours.
It's more like a brotherly insult over there.
His eyebrows are a bit thicker than mine, and my face has gotten fatter in the last year for obvious reasons.
But also, isn't in England and in Europe over there, fanny is different than what we call
fanny means pussy.
It means like my fanny pack. Yeah, it's not.
In France, there is a town called Pussy.
So
Pussy.
Yeah,
I'm not making that up. I swear to God.
But that word means it's different there. Just like a flashlight is called a torch. I mean, they have lots of a flat is like an apartment. It's called takeaway instead of takeout. I mean, they have.
Well, there's also loo. Like over here, it's someone's name. Over there, it's a fucking toilet.
Yeah, use the loo. I forgot about that. And then they call them. They have a lorry.
There's a whole bunch of them.
They have a lorry instead of a truck. I mean, it's
They don't say basil. They say basil. Okay, basil is a name. Basil is a fucking herb, and I have it in my backyard.
Yeah, here it is, but if you were raised there, it wouldn't be the same. See?
Right, but you're talking about like an English guy saying basil. Like, no, the plant
See,
that's
look
growing in
at
my
Grace.
backyard, is that basil or is that
This.
basil? And they go, I'm not sure about that. Because I've met people from fucking England. And
Did you see this? It says we have an insult in Scotland, fanny baws, which translates as vagina testicles.
oh, you understand California.
I went into a space on Twitter, and
Why?
there was a couple people in there, and they wanted me to say, I'm trying to remember what it was. God, it was something they're always asking me to say certain things.
Cunt.
And I just think it's funny. So I will say it, and then they'll laugh, laugh about it, and then we all laugh about it.
Fanny
But
is probably one of those. Because we think
something,
Fanny has a butt.
oh,
like
it was
tushy.
spam nuggets. He was telling me,
Nuggets?
asking me to say spam nuggets.
What the fuck does spam nuggets mean?
Let's see if Winky Wanky Woo knows what spam nuggets are.
Winky Wanky Woo. It's an herb. Yeah, it's not herb. Herb is short for Herbert. It's an herb. Yeah, that's not one of those things. What
Sit
do
on
you
your
call it?
fanny makes us laugh.
Hey, Winky Wakey Woo, can I bum
It's
a
a lot
fag?
of fun because it's so cool though, because every single day I can go on Twitter and I can talk to people from all the way on the other side of the world and laugh with someone because just the different words that we use in our everyday language. I just think that is awesome. I mean, how many people get that opportunity? So I think it's great.
Janet, if I take my shirt off, will you take your shirt off?
No,
Okay.
I will not.
I had to ask for the chat. They didn't
Really?
say it. They didn't say it, but
Oh.
they're thinking it. If Boosh takes his shirt off, maybe.
No, there's plenty of those girls on.
Janet, did you see? Did you see the next? Bruce, have you seen the first episode of Vox Machina?
The first episode, yes. Not the fourth and onward. I've seen the first 90 minutes of it.
Janet?
Yeah?
You want to see the next ones? Have you seen any more?
No, I haven't watched any of them yet. I've been too busy. Remember, I went out of town.
Well, you watched the first one with me and Ruben.
Yeah. But no, I haven't seen the second one. I've been doing so much. I've been so busy. I'm hoping, and tomorrow I gotta. Oh shoot! It's 11:30. We're gonna have to get ready to quit because.
Oh shit! Six Nation just joined. We can't quit.
I gotta get up early because I gotta get my stuff done because I'm supposed to play Dungeons and Dragons tomorrow, or what is it called again? Pathfinder, or something.
Yes, it's not licensed. It's not licensed by Wizards of the Coast.
No. But it's going to be fun. We're going to have a huge battle, so probably a bunch of us are going to die.
When do you have to get up?
I'm the weakest one. Well, because my rooster's going to wake me up probably about 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, you got a cock over there, do you?
Yeah, a big one. He's mean.
You got a big mean cock. Oh God.
That's right.
Janet, say I got a big mean cock.
Wait, I told a story during one of our games, and a couple of the guys still pick on me for it. This rooster is really mean. He's fought off a fox, and I've seen him fight a couple of dogs, right? Well, one day I was out there.
So your big angry cock fought off a couple of bitches?
Yep. Now wait a minute. Listen. I was making a chicken tractor. Do you know what that is?
I'm so lost.
Okay, I was making.
And the thing you said before.
Are you gonna listen or not?
I'm trying so hard, baby.
I was making a chicken tractor out of like PVC pipe, and I was trying to make it like a teepee, like this. and it's go across, and then I covered it with chicken wire and stuff so that you can drag it around and let the chickens stay in it so hawks and stuff can get them, but you can move it around the grass, right? And then you can get them back over to where they need to be without them getting eaten, so they can run around in free range without being, a target. Well, I was working on that. I was sitting on the ground, and the next thing I know, I get flogged on my head by that rooster. And I was lucky that I had already cut off his spikes, because he had spikes that was as long as my thumb.
Oh yeah. Oh, roosters have the fighting spikes.
And he hit me on the back of the head. I mean, I just instantly started crying. It hurt so bad. I stood up and I picked up this piece of wood that was laying there, like it was about 3 feet long, and I just started beating that rooster with it. I mean, I was just beating him, yelling at him and cussing.
Wait. Let's rephrase that.
No, wait, just listen. I'm not finished yet. You can make fun of it afterward. And then he was laying on the ground and he was kicking his legs, and I thought I killed him, right? So I picked him up by his legs, and he was pretty heavy, like as big as a turkey. And I took him to the woods and I threw him in the woods. And then I went in the house because I was bleeding and everything. And I went and I cleaned myself up, and I had an ice pack on the side of my head because, man, it hurt. I mean, he hurt me real bad. And I'm telling you, these could take out other predators. I mean, that's And I was in there, and then I started feeling guilty. Oh God, I killed the rooster, all this stuff. Then all of a sudden I hear, he was still alive. So I was like, they instantly.
No, finish the rest of that word you were about to say.
Oh, well, I was going to say a dirty word, but I'm not.
I know you were.
But I was so angry, and my head hurt so bad. Okay. And then I wanted to go back out there and finish the job. But now they make fun of me because they call me a cock killer. But he didn't die. He lived. But he was mean. He's still mean. But I have to have a mean rooster, or he won't fight and protect my girls. So oh well.
It's so interesting having a cock, isn't it?
It is.
It changes your life.
Haven't you seen any pictures of him yet?
Oh yeah, I watch your shorts.
Well,
I stare at your shorts.
Okay. Well, I also post them on Twitter and stuff too.
This is look. You can't have me on here when you like.
Oh wait,
you softball him in there like that. I'm gonna knock him out of the fucking park. I've been working on
this. Right. I'm gonna let you hear this. I'm gonna let everybody in the chat. I've been working on a sound.
I have to get ice. I'll be back.
Okay, can you hear me?
Oh my God.
You can hear me, right? Okay. Now listen to my soundboard I've been working on. These are the different sound effects I've made. Oh, I like that one. And here's one of my favorite ones. Ready?
Your sentences then to death by Snoo Snoo. Yeah! What are you, gay?
I love that one. And then this one. So what do you think of my soundboard so far?
Is that a home construction, or did you buy that?
Do what?
When you were building your soundboard, is that something that's a piece of software, or is that a piece of hardware?
It's I don't know what you call it. I don't know what you mean.
Is it a physical piece that has different buttons that you press for different things, or is it a piece of software?
It's this. It's called the oh wait, is that it? It's called a Stream Deck.
Okay. So
and it has knobs on it, so I can turn them up and down, and I can turn on my lights and stuff. I'm trying to learn how to do it. It took me months just to make this, and my favorite one is the Futurama.
Your sentences then to death by Snoo Snoo. Yeah!
I love that one.
What are you, gay?
I love that. I have absolutely loved that
The
one.
mind
It's
is
so
willing,
funny.
but the flesh is spongy and weak.
I'm sorry. What'd you say? I missed it.
I said the mind is willing, but the flesh is spongy and weak.
I just love that's my favorite, one of my very favorite episodes of Futurama ever. I absolutely love that one. It's so funny.
It's my entire basis for living. Has been, always has been.
Snoo Snoo.
Snoo Snoo. Death by Snoo Snoo.
That one is one of my favorites, and the other one I love. I could see it. I know I've seen it at least 60 times. Is the one where Fry
Zoidberg.
gets
Everybody loves Zoidberg.
goes to the other planet with the guy that wants to, destroy the Earth, right? And he's got a little son, and the little son is feeding Fry what he thinks are Skittles, but it's his poop.
Oh my God.
It's one of the funniest ever. And
Hello, friends.
Fry's slowly dying. He's starving to death because he's just eating poop. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Slurm was one of the funniest ones I've ever seen.
It is. It's really funny. Which one?
Slurm. Where
Slurm was funny too. The worm.
It's like from Surge. Like Surge was a high caffeine, high sugar soda that came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
Futurama.
That episode where Fry drinks all the cups of coffee and he ends up getting to 300 and you hear the and then he's running through that building.
Oh, that was the same one with the tax. That was the tax rebate. That was after the tax rebate. And
oh God,
Zoidberg goes into like an art gallery and goes, "Hello, one art, please."
Just love Futurama. I would love to do episode one after the other, watch the episode, and then do reviews on the episodes because
we'll be doing that probably.
I would.
I love that show.
Bruce, please let me join you. I love Futurama. Good news, everyone. I have good news, everyone. You're all going to die. Like, my uncle, I talked to my father about this too, and it was horrible, but my uncle was Professor Farnsworth. It was like 50 years old, but might as well have been 150 years old. He just knew everything. He had big, thick glasses. And you go, "Tim, what are you thinking about?" You go, "Oh, well, I was just figuring out a certain quadratic equation in my head." It's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry I asked." Like, what? And he just, because we're having a conversation about whether or not Katie had pooped in her diaper. And like my brother's like, "I don't think so." And I'm going, "You have to check, dude. Like, that's not even my child. You have to put a finger back there and make sure there's no poop." And he's like, "I think I'd be able to smell it." I'm like, "I don't think you would. You couldn't taste the bacon in my beans that I made last night." And Tim's over there just like staring off into space, and we're like, "Uncle Tim, what do you think?" He's like, "I was figuring out a quadratic equation in my head." Like, what? What? What are you? And then like, I'm not kidding. It'd be me, my father, and my aunt.
Oh,
of who are Tim's siblings would be sitting in the common room getting drunk and laughing at Family Guy. And Tim would come in and go, "What are you guys watching?" And we're like, "Oh, let's rewind." And he's like, "There's no need to do that. I'm not interested in such things." And then leave the room. It's like, what? Why'd you stop us? Like, you can clearly see we're watching Family Guy. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Well,
he was actually brilliant.
I don't think Family Guy is half. If I had to pick just one show, it would have to be Futurama. I think the writers, the people they got for the voices, for all the characters, I just think it's hilarious. From the very first episode when Fry
That's not what he's asking, though.
It's just genius. The writers were just geniuses. I mean, I just loved it.
Well, but what is it? Bender and Fry sign up for the military so they get the free money, and then they go into the grocery store to buy some gum. And he's like, "I'd like this. What can I get with my GI Bill?" Like, 1 stick of gum. So like, okay, I'd like to buy this stick of gum. And he goes, "What happened?" That only happens if war were declared. Like, so why can't I buy it? War were declared. They go to fight the brain balls.
The one
and
where
like Leela like is an imposter as a man, and Zach Brannigan's like, I like that Lee Lemon.
I know. I like Zach Brannigan too. He is a hoot. He wears that skirt. But what about
treats Fry like such shit? And like Zap is over there in the shower. So he's like, "Hey, soldier, you're Lee Lemon, right?" And he's like getting scrubbed from behind, and then you see in the next stall it's Fry with a broom going, "I'm walking on sunshine." Oh.
The whole thing is hilarious, but the episode where oh, now I forgot. You made me forget. There was too many.
It's
too many good shows. It's a great show.
Before I met a lot of my friends today, I was going through the channels, and somewhere on Futurama, there's a part where they discover the old prospector, but he's not a prospector. He's the world's last living Democrat. I'm the world's last living Democrat. Tax and spend. Tax and spend.
That's pretty much correct.
Oh, yes.
Well, they're talking about Ren. Janet, have you ever seen Ren and Stimpy?
Yes, I've seen Ren and Stimpy.
Oh my God,
it's funny too. Cow and Chicken was hilarious. I loved
Cow and Chicken was good.
I mean, there was a lot of them. I loved it. I loved all those cartoons and stuff. I loved the voiceovers.
Postman.
Yeah, Postman. And he just grabs his people he's rescuing and shoves them into his butt crack and flies backwards.
Yes.
Yeah, there's tons of fun stuff out there.
And there was the horse that showed up all the time. Like, no, sir, I don't like it.
Don't like it. Yeah, that Ren and Stimpy is high art for me. That really is.
It's and then they try to be like, oh, it's so sexual. I'm like, where? Show me, please. Like, no, it's just goofy. It's goofy toilet humor. I wouldn't call it sexual at all.
No. It's really
Cadet Stampy is clearly losing his mind. He's sitting over there while I eat my chocolate bar, and Rin just takes a huge bite of a piece of soap.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know how you guys
He's
do
got
it.
the space madness.
How are you guys able to do all those voices?
I don't know. I just do it on command.
Just practice.
I cannot do it on command.
Yeah, but
sometimes Swordbird, maybe Swordbird. I found a shoe with some pudding on the bottom of it in the dumpster over there, which is also my home.
Yeah, Zoidberg, the one where he gets to he wants to go back to his home planet and mate.
Oh God, it was.
And then like
I was thinking maybe bra.
You do a really good job.
That was a real funny one. I mean, all of them are funny.
What'd you say, Bruce?
You do a really good Zoidberg. I've not watched a lot of Futurama.
There's John Zoidberg. Oh my God, when Fry brings his ex-girlfriend to the future, and she's like, "We're surrounded by crazy monsters," and the boy was like, "You're telling me, sister?"
Yeah, that was funny. And the one where Fry and Leela go and they want to go on that vacation, it ends up being in the middle of the monkey zoo.
Oh God, yes.
You're watching them.
Okay, so we have to do this.
Yeah, we are. Bruce and I have already been talking about. We're gonna do.
Am I allowed? Because
The only reason why I don't really invite you on much, and it's nothing really against you as a person, but whenever you get involved with a panel, like you kind of monopolize like your vocal time, and that's the only reason why I haven't invited you on as even a guest. It's like when we have them on, just accept that you're going to be, you might be a featured person on there, but when Bush is around, he's probably going to be engaged in talking. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just that do I have a topic that I want to host and then like sit back? There's certain ones I will. Haven't, wouldn't say 100% of the time, like, I have you on all the time. But yeah,
Not to put too fine a point on it, but I have been drinking tonight.
Okay.
And that tends to make me a little more talkative. When I'm on panels, when I haven't been drinking, totally different person. I'm not going to be funny.
He's a lot shyer.
Yes. Yeah, Janet knows.
We
Well,
need
it's not
to,
shy. It's just reserved.
Well, you should see me when I'm really drunk. You think I talk?
I want to really badly.
I talk a lot more, which
I
is worse.
My dream night on this funny little platform would be Janet, Sandy, then my friend DM James and his brother Hungar. I would probably just pull myself out of the panel and just let those four occupy the corners and let them just talk. And occasionally,
but not me. What the hell, man?
What about this? What if we were to schedule a show, and at the beginning of it, we all had an edible?
I haven't done weed in a while.
I've never done one. So, and I don't know if Cindy's ever done one.
Tolbat says, "At least you're not that Tolbat guy, Boosh." And he misspelled my name too.
This is all I saw all of Bruce by accident. I don't get that one. I don't know.
I've seen Bruce. He's a big, solid dude. He looks like he would be great in pads as a running back.
Now this right here,
or not a running back, a fullback, and just fucking plow through people.
Janet got drunk. I saw all of Bruce by accident. I don't get that.
Oh, he got drunk and started showing pictures of him naked on Twitter. It's okay.
I can't show pictures of him. I've never seen him naked. That's his wife's job. Maybe he thinks I'm your
We're not going to go into the intricacies of my lie that I just made up, okay?
It's funny because you might think it's a cute little lie, but there are like probably 30 people that have asked me how my wife's doing. I'm like, yeah, she's fine. She's at work. No, she's not. She's on Twitter right now.
No.
What?
All right, man.
No, that's my friend Janet.
Yeah, a few people have asked us in the chat if we were husband or wife. I'm like, no, wouldn't we be sitting side by side if we were doing a show?
I was, when I said it, I was making a joke. I already knew that Bruce was married.
Yeah.
It was just a joke. I didn't mean any offense at all, Bruce.
Well, I know, but what's funny is his wife is the reason why he met me in the first place. So,
is it because you got hit in the head by a giant angered cock?
Unfortunately, not. I've not met the big cock.
This is Janet's story. It's recorded now.
It's true. It's not a fib. It's a real story. It really happened to me, and I tell you, it hurt really bad.
And you kicked him out into the woods, and he came back to you.
I threw him in the woods, and I swear. And I told this story about it when we were playing. Like 7. I think it was a 7-hour game that day, and they still make fun of me because of it. And I'm like, have any of you guys ever been attacked by a rooster? It hurts. They're mean. And they're out to kill. They want you dead.
So many things I could say.
Well, please don't say them.
I mean,
I'm not. I'm not that far gone.
I just know that Janet's my friend. She's a close person. She's probably the closest thing that I have to a sister in this world. But I'm pretty certain that when Janet goes looking for Farmer Brown brings the big rooster. And I'm just
oh
saying,
my God.
I'm just saying, like, when it's time, when the moment is right,
You have no.
Oh,
You,
guys.
behave, Boosh, behave. Don't say it. Don't say
She
it. Say it.
she's one of my dearest friends, and I I thank my wife all the time for discovering her on, what is it, TikTok or Facebook or wherever she.
I was on TikTok.
Oh,
That's
told
where I
that wants me
started.
to mute.
I
I'll
wasn't
mute myself.
really doing. I started doing YouTube after is when YouTube started doing shorts.
Okay.
Because I had a YouTube channel, but I never, I was just like everybody else. I just watched videos on it. And then when YouTube started doing shorts, I thought, hey, I got shorts. I'll start putting them up on YouTube now.
You
So.
see, you say things like that, my brain goes, yes, I love staring at your shorts.
Well, I got a couple of videos.
It's not my fault. Okay, it is my fault, but you underhand tossed them in there. I'm gonna knock it out of the fucking park. I can't help it.
It's all right.
No, it's not all right. According to you, Bruce, it's not all right. Like I could watch it. We took one break during the Vox Machina first episode because I had to go pee, and I paused it and said, "Are you guys enjoying this at all?" Because no one was talking, and that's fine. And I said, "I have to go use the restroom real quick," and then came back and we watched the rest of it. And then after the end of it, we analyzed it, and I thought you guys both enjoyed it.
It was really good.
It was 45 minutes without Boosh talking, except for when Boosh went, "I have to pause it. I have to go pee."
It's almost midnight, and I still got to finish my laundry and some other things in the morning before I start playing DD, because I'll be sitting in this chair crocheting.
It's not Dungeons and Dragons. It's Pathfinder.
Okay, Pathfinder. I've always called it DD. That's what I've always called it.
Well, I'm trying to not get us sued.
Why?
They won't sue us. They'll just send
I know
after us.
Then what?
The people that own Dungeons and Dragons, Janet, about a month and a half ago, they also own another game called Magic the Gathering, which has seasonal releases.
Mm-hmm.
And they will tell you that we'll send the game store you go to these boxes on these days, but they're not available for sale until this day. Well, this guy goes in and he buys his usual his drop, and the game store erroneously sells him something that shouldn't go on sale yet. So
he goes on YouTube.
He gets on YouTube because he's a YouTuber and he discusses this stuff, and he shows off the cards he gets, and he's like, "Oh wow, this must be the new set. That's awesome." And then about 72 hours or less later,
less than that, there's 2 days.
It's like, he's like, "Who is it?" And his wife is, the one answering the door, and they're like, "The Pinkertons." She's like,
"It's the fucking Pinkertons."
You're joking.
There's still Pinkertons
Bruce,
now.
Can you tell the chat and Janet who the Pinkertons are?
Okay.
I saw Tombstone. I know who they are. But look what I got.
You don't.
On my
oldest
shoulder.
Mercenary army in the North American continent.
I have a dragon. See my dragon?
Yeah, I'm dragging too. These nuts.
Where'd you get that?
Yeah, I got
Bruce,
some people riled up.
I like that one. She showed that one off a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I got some people riled up on Spaces because I got pissed off about people saying stuff about us not doing enough, and things like that to try to get things to change. And I'm like,
what things are you talking about?
Like for politics and stuff. And so I said, I work the polls and I do this and I do that. And I was talking about that. And I said,
God.
What the problem is I said, it's all you people out there. I said, I hear men on here 24/7 talking smack to women. And, I was sort of started going off with that. I said, if some men around here would get some balls, I got balls as big as bowling balls. And I said, I can't even put my legs together. They're so big. I said, so I got all of you guys out bald. And I was just going at it. And all the girls were clapping, the soundboards that they have on Twitter. They're all clapping the stuff. I was like, I was pissed. But oh well.
That was awesome on your part. And you got that dragon.
Isn't he cute? See, he's got a real long tail.
That's not the word I would use.
What? The tail?
No, adjective. I would not use the adjective cute.
Oh, well, I think it's cute.
It's a dragon.
So it's
threatening, fiery.
It's a baby dragon. Can you cook hot dogs?
Fiery.
What are you going to call it?
So Bruce,
I gotta go to bed, guys.
Bruce was talking about this company sent the Pinkertons to this man's house because the company erroneously gave him things they were not supposed to give him. And instead of calling him or contacting him or going through proper channels like YouTube or email or the regular police department, they sent the Pinkertons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that kind of riled me up and a few other people. We're not really too fond of Wizards of the Coast anyway because we don't like the social engineering they're doing with their game and
political shit.
Political and
they would send Pinkertons to my house because I said I played Dungeons and Dragons.
They would do something.
They might
of that level, yes.
And they would come to my house and then they'd look around and say, "We don't find a game."
Yeah.
Well, they would say you need to let us inside because we're Pinkertons, and you can tell them to fuck right off. Just like it could a normal police officer comes to your door and says, "I need to come inside." You go, "Fuck off."
I would say, "I'll be right back," and then I'd run in here and I'd get my GoPro and I'd strap it on my chest. Then I'd go back and I'd let them come through my house and record the whole thing and do a live stream.
Don't take the GoPro. Don't let them inside at all, ever.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even discuss them until a lawyer arrives on site.
Well,
I agree with Bruce. Absolutely agree with Bruce.
Set it up on here, and I push start, and I go live, and it's from my GoPro, right? And I'm filming them. It wouldn't matter because this makes a recording of it.
No, because they'll take it right off you. If you let them inside your house, they could just take whatever they want because you allow them inside.
You've allowed them in the domicile. They will strike your rights down.
But they won't find anything because I don't play it in my house. I play it online.
But you have no protection. You have no civil right protection when you allow them inside your house.
I have a bag of dice right over there. So I tell them those are my dice, so I can play my game.
And would you tell them that while you're sitting in handcuffs, face down on the floor, while they go through your entire house?
Just say, "Hey, would you mind handcuffing me over there and then frisk me?"
Oh my goodness! Look at you.
That's what I'd probably do. So, and I'd have it all on video.
I suddenly want to join the Pinkertons.
I suddenly want to be a firefighter over in Northwest Arkansas. Got a fire at her house. Let me put on.
Bruce, I have a hat. I have a hat at my mom's house. I'll let you wear one. And let's fucking do it.
What kind of hat is it?
Fireman's hat.
Oh, I was gonna say I got this cool hat. Oh,
well, it's actually not to code anymore because the ones they have now are like Teflon and plastic, and this one is fucking metal.
Yeah, the old ones were heavy as shit. They were great.
Yeah,
you could survive falling bits of building whenever they struck it. Now,
I mean, until they start getting messed up. Like the Kevlar ones they have nowadays are a lot better, to be honest.
There we go.
Oh god, yeah. You're talking about falling beams and all the cushioning inside. That metal helmet. It's like one of the ones. There's a giant lip at the back, and the reason that lip is there is like if something hits you on the top of your head and starts falling down the back, it'll hit that lip instead of your shoulders or your back. It'll just bounce off like that, but you're still going to get it. Man, I kind of want to... Like, I have to go to my mom's house and take a picture of this to show you.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like the old Boston hats. It's from my great uncle. on my dad's side.
I don't have any feather bolas in here. I have to go dig them out. So I got like pink and black and a speckly, all different colors.
Janet, can I be frank with you?
But we haven't done a movie where I can, like a gangster movie, the 1920s. I got some really cool flapper outfits and stuff.
You want to do some like James Cagney movies? You want to see some of those?
No, we haven't done one yet.
Angels with Dirty Faces is one
I
of
can
his
have
favorite.
long
Public
blonde
Enemy is
hair,
another good one.
long blonde hair, and have like all that.
Well, Bruce hates modern cinema, as far as I've seen.
Well,
I've seen him on other podcasts, and he just doesn't like all the modern shit. And I'm kind of on the same page with his assessment of why he doesn't like it.
Well, it's pretty soulless. That would,
yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of work on the new cinema movies. You get your shitty script and you mail the parts out, email the things you need to the people that gather on site. Everybody stands in front of a green screen. There's not a fucking miniatures prop director.
Whitey.
There's nobody there that knows how to fucking shop for good cinematography on a site. So it's going to be all green screened in, and then there will be some bastard second unit director that's there in a fucking small room with a bunch of nerds making 3D bullshit out of Unreal Engine 5. And it might look really pretty, but Bruce's eyes are going to fucking bug the fuck out, and the uncanny valley hits, and I'm like, this movie sucks dick. Like,
well, that's one of the things I had a problem with. What's the Mandalorian?
Yeah,
What's the thing's name? The Yoda thing.
Yeah.
Grogu. Yes, thank you, Grogu. I saw that for like 5 minutes, and then it stopped being a character, and it was just a puppet. Like, no offense to Punkwaddle or Floral.
Anybody that does the puppet work. The puppet work.
Right. No offense to them, but these are like professional actors and extremely good puppeteers and CGI artists and all that kinds of nonsense, trying to tell me that thing is an actual character in the show. And every time I look at it, I go, it's a fucking puppet. It's a fucking puppet. And I'm not trying to discount the work that all of these people did to create the thing and put it on film, or not film, but TV or whatever we call it. But like every time I saw it, I'm just like, it's a fucking Muppet. Like, exactly. See, it's just like that. Like, it's not real. It doesn't belong there. It's this. I felt like Yoda from Empire was more real than Grogu, because Grogu is on screen so much and always there, and it's like, it's a cute little. It's like, no, it's a fucking puppet, and people are interacting with it like it's a living, breathing thing.
It is your imagination.
Yeah,
it would be better if it was actually just a puppet. If it was just a hand puppet with just maybe a team of small unit puppeteers working on it, I would be much easier to digest it and look at it and enjoy it. But I know when I'm looking at it, there's like patches of it that aren't right, so they fix it in CGI. And
yes,
it doesn't really fix. It might look okay for the first or second glance. When you start to study it, you start seeing like imperfections in the texture work on the skin and how the eyes move. And then worse yet, like whenever it starts actually trying to move around,
it just looks fake.
It's completely fucking bullshit. And there's not,
and that's all. And that's all you see after that point. Once the uncanny valley has been breached as low as you can go, and this thing is not a character in a show anymore. It's a fucking puppet. Like, God, like when Luke is on Dagobah and he's talking to Yoda, and Luke falls down, and Yoda's eyes widen up, and he falls down too. It seems a lot more real than that Baby Yoda thing has in any scene that Baby Yoda was in. Grogu. Sorry, Janet. Grogu.
I got lots of toys that I play with at my house.
It might as well be Kermit the Frog that they're talking to, as far as I'm concerned, because I don't see anything other than a puppet after they breached that.
Well,
What do you call it? Bruce, after you
don't,
hit the
you just
uncanny
don't have
valley so low, it's like
imagination,
it's not a.
Boosh. You
It's
just don't have a very good imagination.
oh no, my imagination is completely intact. As I was just saying, Yoda sitting on top of Luke seemed like a real character in the show, as opposed to this.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
I get more
Isn't
value
cute?
out of
I got my
older.
Trumpinator.
I watched The Dark Crystal from 1984.
I
Oh,
love that
so good,
movie.
so good.
It's a good movie.
Great movie. But the puppeteer work in that, when I watch that movie, my brain doesn't frazzle out and say, this is
It's
how
a
they shot
puppet.
this scene. This is how they shot
Yeah.
this scene. This is how they shot this scene. I don't have that fucking dip where my brain gets completely yanked out of the dream that I'm watching in front of me, and I'm pulled out and I'm like, I'm sitting in my room and I'm watching bullshit fantasy puppets. I
But I
never had
did.
that happen with the Dark Crystal. I never had that happen with Fraggle Rock. No, the old Fraggle Rock. I've not watched the new shit. I don't even know if it's
Right.
good or not. But the older stuff, I don't have that dip. And for some odd reason, when they started adding a lot of the CGI and stuff and start doing more than just pulling the wires out of visual sight, when they started altering things on the actual piece you're supposed to function on, you're supposed to focus and look at the textures, and you're supposed to appreciate how they can manipulate the eyes and ears, and whenever the jaws
Well,
move,
not
these
just
other facial
that.
features work. The thing is that all the new shit that's came out doesn't look good, except for one thing in the Age of Resistance for Dark Crystal on Netflix. Looked like it was done right. It looked like it had 300
It
people working
started
on it.
to, but then they added so much of that CGI flying shit, and then they added so much of the like dancing stuff, and like it didn't fit well. And then like what the not the Gormand, it was one of them that didn't exist in the Dark Crystal, and it had like boils on its face that squirted
Oh no.
towards the screen. I'm like, we don't need that. That's and with the other scene that actually is more than one scene that really bothered me was in the Dark Crystal from was it 82?
84.
84. There's one scene where Jin actually looks like a puppet, where
Yes.
he's in the field by himself playing the flute. Clearly a puppet, right?
Yeah.
Like you can see the angles in his arms and things like that. And then his master starts dying, and they go, oh, and they call him home. After that, I don't see Jin as a puppet. But in the rebirth, what's it called? The rebirth?
Age of Resistance, I thought.
Age of Resistance. They had a lot of scenes that were pure CGI to make podlings look like puppets, and there was no reason to do that.
That would I haven't seen all of it. I've seen the first episode and I didn't have the dip.
Oh, I
didn't have
watched up this episode 7, and there were a bunch of dance scenes and songs going. I'm like, this is not Dark Crystal.
Yeah, that sounds like they've tried to add too much of the Goblin King and Labyrinth into the Dark Crystal Millennium.
Yes, yes, that's a good way to put it.
And I'm
It
not
worked
really,
in Labyrinth, but not in Dark Crystal.
Yeah,
Not in Dark
I'm
Crystal.
not against Labyrinth,
You don't have
but-
dance scenes and songs in Dark Crystal.
No, I mean that would be more at home with Willow.
Oh, Willow was good too, but not
The movie Willow was all right.
the movie.
Yeah,
I have a lot of problems with the movie Willow, but it's something I really enjoyed in my
The
childhood.
original Willow.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I loved it. That was great. But
a great swordsman where Val Kilmer's like throwing the sword around behind his back and just like hits a guy right in the gut and then hits him in the back of the head. And there's no blood because it's a kid's movie.
I am about to go to bed.
Okay.
Get some sleep. But I thank everybody for coming. It was fun. I'm sorry Sandy didn't get to join us. Her allergies are really bad.
Her internet is really bad too.
Yeah. Well, that's because she always tries to do it in her living room or in her kitchen and not in her office. See, I'm in my office. So, and I put this beautiful, curtain up and my lights. So I have a good backdrop. And I have a big curtain rod, curved one hanging above my head from my ceiling.
I like it.
It's nice. It's a nice
So
little my
you want
corner.
you want to tell the chat where they can find you?
Yeah, right here. This is my channel.
And she's also on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I'm on Twitter. I also have Discord.
She has Discord.
All the links are on my YouTube channel. I also have a Rumble. I'm starting a Rumble channel, and if you haven't followed me over there, I'd really appreciate it if you would. Thanks.
Bruce?
And I have TikTok, but most men don't like TikTok or people.
I used to have a TikTok, but I tried to rhyme it, and I called it TikTok Bush's Big Cock, and they banned me.
Well, good night, everybody.
Well, Bruce.
Thank you for coming. And Bruce, Bruce,
let Bruce tell the chat where they can find him.
All right, go ahead.
She's like, good night, everybody. John's talking about his cock.
Go ahead.
Tomorrow afternoon, later this afternoon at about 12:30, I'm going to be trying to get everybody together to start our campaign for the game session. I'm looking at about an 8.5 to 9 hour game session total. So I really do need Janet to be able to sleep well and not hear a fucking rooster in the morning. Just keep
get hit in the head by a cock.
don't let the cock hit you in the head. And
I've learned my lesson.
And I want you guys to be there if you can. Bruce Lombardo 75 or Bruce Lombardo on YouTube. You'll find my channel. If you go to Rumble, it's the Den of America's Dungeon Master. And I will see everybody here next Friday with Janet and whoever decides to join us. Boosh may be involved with that. That'd be great. I enjoyed this. I got some really good stuff started on these fire giants. They are nowhere near done. Sorry.
Bruce also, with his group, when he live streams it, will interact with the chat sometimes. Janet will also. You live stream it as well?
Do what?
Do you live stream the Pathfinder stuff on your channel?
I did it a little bit one time.
Okay.
Because I don't know how I did it. I just clicked on the right buttons or something.
So we can be in the chat and follow along with this.
Yeah, you can come and go and leave, come back and see if we're still alive. I have a bad feeling that some of us aren't going to make it.
Bruce laughing like that is not a good sign.
Yeah. Hey, it is a good sign. That means it's going to be tough and we're going to have to really think about what we're doing. Yeah, he's the evil scientist.
Yeah.
Very much a Vincent Price fan, so yes.
I just cut a bunch of new videos on my channel from the new ESO update.
Ooh.
Good.
Right. Good deal. How long you been playing ESO, if you don't mind me asking real quick?
I downloaded it in late February 2022. And I did not play it until early March 2022. And then I started getting the ball rolling and been playing off and on since then. And people would tell me, oh, you got to get ESO Plus, you got to get ESO Plus. And I said, why? And it's $120 a year, and you get all of the content. I went, no, you don't. You don't get Blackwood. You don't get High Isle. And you don't get Necrocom. And they go, oh, well, yeah, but you have to add that on top of it. And I go, okay, so monetarily, I've spent about $300, which is a lot of money. But there's a lot to do. And people have been playing this game since 2012. And they have year by year been paying $120 to continue to have access to the stuff that I buy piecemeal. Also, the other thing I do, which is crazy, I don't buy zones unless they go on sale. So, like, someone's like, why don't you join us in this area and play with us in this dungeon? And I'll look on the Crown store and I'll go, it's not on sale yet. And they go, we'll just buy it right now. I'm like, no. I'll wait for it to go on sale. We could do other stuff. There's other stuff that I have we could do. They go, well, we want to do this. And we're like, okay, you guys go do that. I'm going to go do this with other people because I have 2 guilds that have 500 members. I don't need, Anyway,
Sounds like you have fun.
monetarily, I've spent far less money, and I can quit the game for 10 years and come back, and all of my stuff will still be there. I won't have to pay the $120 a year to get access to stuff, right?
I would hope not. Good Lord, that'd be a ripoff.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Like, oh, but you get the craft bag. I'm like, you can, without real money, play the game and just do enough content and get a chest. And a chest has 60 slots. And you can name that chest whatever you want. And you put that chest in your house. There it is. Hey, well, what if you want another chest? I'm like, I've got 7.
Fair enough.
And it cost me no real money. It just cost me time and playing the game. Six Nations is correct. Bruce, thank you so much. I would really like to do some Futurama watch throughs with you and Janet.
You could come and watch them with us if we watch them on Discord. We invite everybody.
Sunday night, we're watching the Gamers Dorkness Rising on my Discord. About
Sunday night, I didn't hear you say again.
Sunday night, 7:00. We're going to be watching the Gamers Discord, the Gamers Part 2 Dorkness Rising, which is probably the high watermark for that company that made it. But it's a really good movie about people playing Dungeons and Dragons 3rd edition. And I think that if you like RPGs, then you might really get a good kick out of it.
Okay, I've never heard of this. So
I've never
Sunday
seen
night at 7 Central or 7 Eastern.
7 Central.
7 Central. Okay.
We'll put it in both Discords. The link for where you need to be at, and we'll.
Yeah. Anybody in the chat, if you're still here, if you want to come watch this with us, you can.
Hold on.
You're welcome.
Let me grab the link from my Discord, and then you can shut her down, Janet. Promise.
Okay, and because we're gonna watch, it's called the Gamers Dorkness Rising. I haven't seen it before, and it's the movie that we're gonna review for Monday night. So we watch it on Sunday, and then we review it on Monday.
Well, you start at 7 or
at 7 Central.
So I should be there before 7 then.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a link to my Discord channel, Bruce's big ass Pathfinder game, and whenever the show starts, it'll be in the general voice area. So go ahead, jump on in, and we will start it.
So if you want to join us, go ahead.
No, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I want you to sleep.
But thank you guys, and I appreciate it. Guys, have a wonderful weekend. And if you want to stop by tomorrow and watch us off and on, get our ass kicked while we're playing Pathfinder, come on down. So thank you. Bye-bye.
It's not letting me accept the invite, dude. Oh, there it goes. Never mind.